Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could take sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, folks, rough weekend for if your name is Diddy, but a great weekend if your name is 50 Cent. He has got another great opportunity to troll him because apparently Diddy already expected to be free, and he had a speaking engagement this week. And 50 Cent comes out and says, don't worry, guys, I'll do the speaking engagement if you want me to do it. I'll come out and I'll do my thing, but lots of things going on in Chicago with ICE to the point where they're not even protecting the feds. Vinny was talking about a couple clips where the local PDs are backing up, and Pritzker saying it's all propaganda with everything that's taking place. And I cannot believe the president didn't call me to get approval about him deploying National Guard to our state and Oregon and other places. Well, it's called you suck in leadership. And your people are saying, please come and protect me. What do you expect them to do? Your people are begging for leadership, absolutely begging for leadership because they don't have one. They don't have one. There's more guys like you and this other guy named Gavin in California that are thinking more about their 2028, presidential campaign than they're thinking about actually taking care of their city and their states. Then you have Israel ceasefire meetings that are taking place. I think Kushner and Witkoff are on their way, Rob. You said to Egypt this morning to have the meeting. By the way, Kushner, we haven't heard that name in a long time. He's getting in there for the negotiation stuff. So originally, we didn't know if he was going to be involved a lot. But, in these types of instances, he is getting involved. Epstein, Howard Lutnick, is talking to someone and explains a time where he is in Epstein's home. And while he's in there, he asks, oh, wow, you have a room here just for massages and candles. He says Epstein gave an answer to him that he and his wife, Lutnick and his wife, said, I don't ever want to be around this guy ever again. Then the interviewer asks, what do you think about Gates and others? And you should hear what Lutnick had to say about that. By the way, if you're a quarterback, let's just say you played in the NFL, and you are famously known for running into your offensive lineman, your center.
The butt fumble.
What are you doing racing others in an alley? And then we're thinking somebody attacked you, but allegedly you attacked somebody else. I mean, this is like, you were the best-looking bachelor, right? You were like the guy to be with, and then this story comes out. Vinny's not happy about it, and he's got a few things he wants to say about it, which we'll talk about. Aside from that, folks, if you're watching this and you're between ages of 70 to 79 years old, Wall Street Journal wrote a story for you, and it says the new age of entrepreneurship, 70 to 79.
Oh, yeah.
We're 20 years away from being 66 years old, but this is some interesting stuff that's going on over there. Adam, all morning, there's a million stories to talk about. Yeah. All he cares about is the comedy stuff that happened in Saudi, and he's asking, how come no one called me for money? Like, Adam, by the way, if some other people, if you're doing the next Saudi trip for comedians, Adam is willing to do it pro bono because he's met his requirements for pro bono for free comedy skits for the year. He's willing to go. Vinny, you're going to have to pay for. Adam would be for free. It's like a buy one, get one for free.
It's BOGO. Buy one Assyrian, get one Jew for free. Hello. And I'll go for half price.
Yes. Yeah. And then aside from that, Trump floats handing out $2,000 tariff rebates to all Americans because of $63 billion of rebate tariffs they made the last 2 months. Here's another story for you, and you know who wants to talk about this story. Women would rather stay single than compromise politics, a global study shows. Not a local, not a regional, not a national. This is a global study, folks.
Not practice.
We're talking about
not a game. Not
I watched a clip yesterday from the show Ted Lasso, and Ted Lasso's talking to one of his best players, and he's going through and saying everything to him, and then 30 seconds into it, you realize what speech he's giving Tom. You know what speech it is? I have to show this clip to you guys. It's just so funny. It's so fun. I love this Ted Lasso thing. One day, a guy named Greg Scher, a good friend of ours, says, watch Ted Lasso. Tell me this doesn't remind you of Tom. I watched one episode. I'm like, this is Tom Ellsworth.
So you got Ted Lasso and you got your Squid Games that you're all about these days.
Squid Games is bad to watch, but it's so addicting. Let me tell you, it's a horrible thing to watch. And
I've never seen you watch any TV whatsoever. Now Squid Games, you're addicted.
Last night, Tico comes back. He was out of town with these white family he was hanging out with, but they're back.
Great people. Great people.
While they're back, he wants to watch Fallen because I told him how great Fallen is. This guy's is up at 10:40 finishing Fallen. I'm like, nobody. We're gonna finish it another day. And your time is on my side. Yes, it is. Have you ever seen?
Oh my! What Denzel?
Oh my God, Nicole.
I'm gonna start taking a shadow.
And he starts doing. He is.
That'll give me nightmares.
Whatever that actor's name is, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll look it
he's
up.
phenomenal. What is between lions and? Anyways, it's folks. Don't watch Fallen if you just don't watch it. New York City mayoral race is still going on. Cuomo rips hypocrite Zoran Mamdani. And which Cuomo? This is Chris Cuomo, not Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo apologizes to Jewish people, but his brother rips Mamdani. And then we got a couple other things here. And then we got to talk about all this stuff with Israel, Netanyahu. We'll definitely cover that. Young people are now richer than boomers were, folks. If you're a boomer, when we talk about the story, maybe some earmuffs would be good for you because apparently these guys are making more money than you, according to this story. Disney attendance plunges to an all-time low for 2025 as visitors report ghost towns at parks. Can you imagine that? Disney, ghost town at parks. And Tom's got some updates for you. PornHub suffers 50% drop in UK traffic after age restrictions added. And that's an interesting concept because I knew when I was talking to the owners of PornHub, I said, why don't you put age restriction? They said, we won't do it. This is exactly why. I guesstimated they would have 50 to a 90% drop-off, and it's already happening in UK. Fox News dominates news brands with 1.1 billion YouTube views in Q3. The billionaire Trump ally, and his son are building an unprecedented media empire. Van Jones had a few things to say on the Bill Maher clip, which probably we'll get to. Bill Burr dismisses all the stuff that was going on. And then, of course, we have to talk about how many more lawsuits our friend, a guy that maybe was many people's friends when they were going to his white party, Diddy. How many lawsuits he's pending after what happened? And then Bad Bunny. How many guys are excited? But if you're watching this right now, who's excited about Bad Bunny halftime show? And by the way, guess what, folks? Guess what? You have a few months left to learn how to speak Spanish. Because you need to learn Spanish, not him learning English. It's your duty to learn Spanish, according to Bad Bunny. Because he said so, right?
Dale, let's go.
You got to learn Spanish. You got 4 months to do so. A lot of people are not happy. And then we'll talk about the Chicago stuff we'll get into. Virginia AG candidate faces bipartisan. Is this the Jay Jones guy that we're talking about? The Virginia
text?
AG candidate faces bipartisan backlash over violent, inflammatory text messages.
But he apologized, Pat, so it's all good.
Well, we have to talk about it. Let's read his apology.
Yeah.
And French influencer. Did you see this one? The guy's going around syringes?
Yeah, and he just got arrested, too.
Yeah, he's going around shooting people. I sent it to Rob. I'm like, what is this all about?
Yep.
So anyways, so we got a lot of stories to cover. Folks, if you're watching this today, I'm going to make it very simple for you. Yesterday, guys were posting pictures of being at football games and baseball games. One baseball game I wasn't too happy about, but they were watching it at a bunch of these baseball games. And you know what hat they were wearing and what shirt they were wearing? They were wearing the allegedly shirt. Ooh. This is by far the biggest insurance policy for you folks. Go pick up an allegedly hat for $15, a sweater, a shirt, a coffee mug. Go get it. This is like limited supply left because these things are running out. Originally, when we had a lot of different sizes, but if they have your size, go ahead and place the order with these things. They're one of the coolest conversation starter shirts you can wear out there. And people ask you, why are you wearing an allegedly shirt? Well, listen, it's my insurance policy to make sure I'm protected. Now all you have to say is allegedly to make sure you're protected from people coming after you. Anyways, allegedly gear is one that people like to wear no matter where they go. All right, let's get right into the stories. First story I want to get into, Vinny, is I say we start off with the Howard Lutnick clip.
I love
Rob,
it.
if you want to put up the Howard Lutnick clip. So here's Howard Lutnick telling a story about what happened with him with Epstein once. Yeah. It's a very, very, so this is, they're at the house.
Yes. This is because mind you, Pat, this is a 4 minutes, 43
We're not
second
gonna watch
clip.
the whole thing,
Yeah,
but-
so right now, so he's sitting down with New York
Set up.
Post.
He happens to live next door. Epstein moves in. Now they're
Epstein-
neighbors.
Yeah, now they're moving because Lutnick's been there since 2005. They have to renovate, so now he doesn't really know who Epstein is yet. Trust me, guys, I did the research. He didn't know him. So, and by the way, he's sitting down with the New York Post, Miranda Devine. So Epstein, I'll fill you up to this point. Epstein's assistant comes, knocks on Howard Lutnick's door, and goes, "Hey, Mr. Epstein is your new neighbor. He wants to bring you over for coffee." He's giving them a tour at him. And even Howard Lutnick is like, "Bro, the house is ridiculous. It's huge." And this is when he shows a part of the house and it gets a little weird. Go ahead, Rob.
So he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the doors and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, "Massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage?" And he says, "Every day." And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, "And the right kind of massage."
His wife is with him.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, "I'm sorry, we have to go." And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
God.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Okay, now stop it, Rob. So now
There's another part, though, that's coming.
So now it keeps going, guys. And he's just, and by the way, I don't, in that world, I don't trust any of the old people that I believe exactly what the hell he's saying. He's like, I'm disgusted. Because everybody, once you put Howard Lutnick next to Epstein, everybody was like, oh, he's in. No.
It's not analysis. It's
not
first-hand
knowledge.
witness.
Yeah, witness. So now this next one, guys, and Robbie, I would start it, Rob, start it about 3 minutes. This is when the conversation of other people that were there and showing up and stuff like that. And this is what Miranda asks him now. Go ahead, Robbie.
Ooh, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participated.
Boom. Boom.
That's what his MO was, get a massage, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video.
Video.
This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Woo.
Blackmailed people. That's how he had money. So
So what happened to those videos? Why is there now
Here we go.
such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when,
Mm-hmm.
they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and
Facts.
stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the
Okay,
videos.
now, okay. First of all, I don't even think that they knew that.
Is Lutnick still on the inside?
Oh, of course.
Well, if Lutnick's
I
on the
mean,
inside.
as far as the Trump administration.
Yes.
But yes, and
He's
at
the
oh, yeah,
Commerce Secretary,
he's-
is he
yeah,
not?
but at the end of this, Pat,
At
when they're
what-
asking,
At what level of inside is he right now? You think he's in the inner circle?
I don't.
like the,
No, I would take
If
off
he's not
one
in the inner circle, he's definitely in the inner circle.
Yeah, no, he's inner. But even at the end, she's like, "Well, how does Donald Trump, the president, feel about you?" He's like, "Listen, I don't talk to him about this. I don't know this, but I want people to understand what this guy was saying. Like what they're saying goes against everything that the White House and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi have been saying." He said they participated. Bill Gates participated. And he's assuming, which
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but think about great word. But he said assuming, which is allegedly, like he's listening.
Plug your shirt here, buddy.
Yeah, think about it.
Get that plug.
He's hearing.
We're learning.
He's on the inside. He's heard things. He's heard a lot of things. I'm pretty sure he's picked up on the old Bill Gates and bro, and the connection with Bill Clinton and Mark Middleton and him committing suicide. And by the way, him bringing Epstein, when Epstein would visit Bill Clinton in the White House, all those times, 11 times or whatever, Epstein would come with different younger women each time. And the guy that signed him on hanged himself in front of his house with the wire and shot himself in his chest, and they couldn't find the gun. This is crazy. This is very, very like revealing.
Actually, there's something very. Do you remember when we went by his house? Do you remember when we
Yes,
were,
of course. We were running by it.
With security, everything that was there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I like his answer. And but it is contradictory
to the White House, to the official
White House.
narrative.
Yeah, so it is contradictory to the narrative, but you got to give him props for telling his experience with Epstein and how horrible it was, and what experience. By the way, what year is he talking about? 2005
is when they had the house,
sense.
And then he was arrested in 2008.
2005, he's at the house. 2008. So when did the president kick him out of Mar-a-Lago? 07 or 08?
Oof, I don't know. Because he was.
So Rob, can you find out when did Epstein not? Was he not able to go back to Mar-a-Lago? Tom, what do you think about the story here with Howard Lutnick?
So I have a couple views on it, and the first is why would Howard right now, with all that's going on and with all the success Howard has had? Let's face it. He has the distinction of running one of the most successful presidential transitions ever. In that he and Susie Wiles picked people, helped interview him. He's had this great success. Why would you go get in the mud pit of the Epstein stuff? You could stay way out over here talking about other things. There's speculation that he was interested in Bessent's position if Bessent went to Fed. But then they said, no, Bessent's not going to go to Fed. He's going to stay right where he is. And so why, with all of that and all the gloss that you've got, why would you do the interview like this unless one thing, it's true? That's what I think. Why would you even get in the mud?
You just said these two things. So are you saying this is his way of getting back for not getting Bessent's job?
Oh, no. I mean, he was getting, if Bessent goes to Fed, Lutnick was a leading candidate to step into Bessent's.
So why talk about this stuff now?
So, yeah, see, I think either it's true or...
Why would he lie? I believe it's true.
I believe him.
The guy's next door to him, so why would he lie about something like this?
That's exactly right.
And remember what he said. What's the part about this that you can't lie about? He says, I'm standing there, and my wife is standing right here.
And then he gets close.
Jeffrey, we have to go. And then they leave, right? And we take the 6 steps to my house, or whatever words he used. So I don't know why he would lie about something like this.
That's right. Yeah. There's no reason for him to lie. There's no reason to get in the mosh pit.
And why would he say the greatest blackmailer in the ever? Like, he knows stuff.
I think, Vinny, I've come to a conclusion. Yeah. I know where it's at. Yesterday, we have people over at the house for Dylan's birthday, and we're talking, and a couple of the guys that are there, like, oh, we just want to let you know we watch a podcast for a long time. So, it's great, fantastic. No, it's okay. So, what do you think happened here with Epstein? They're kind of, it's like you can always tell what people are interested in.
Of course.
Okay, so this one was the Epstein interest. I said, what do you think? He says, well, I think, I'm trying to see for myself. I said, listen, eventually we're going back and I said, look, you got the emotional community, you got the hardcore, cutthroat, logical community. When we had Eric Trump on the podcast Friday night, I showed a clip that Eric had never seen about his father with Barron Trump, right? Mm-hmm. When he's like, he is smart, he is strong, he is vicious, but you have to be smart because to win in life, you got to be smart. So good luck to you, kid. Yeah. That's what you do. So the point is, to be a president, you have to be vicious. Mm-hmm. To be a president, you have to be ice cold. To be a president, you have to know how to use those assets. I am convinced they're using all of those assets to hold every one of those guys blackmailed, to make sure none of them get in the way of them fulfilling whatever they have in the agenda. And I think the cutthroat, vicious, ice-cold community fully understands that, and everybody else who doesn't, I also understand them as well. That's the conclusion I've come up with. Of course he's a blackmailer. What are you talking about? Like, of course. What the hell do you mean like the former prime minister visits 30-something times? Like, no. It's just they're playing backgammon. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what I got, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm playing. No, you ready? What are you going to do? We're going to play dominoes together today. No, we're going to play today. We're going to play, Uno today. Today's Uno day. That's what we're doing today. Now, something's going on here. Adam, we know you have very insightful feedback on this one here. Tell us what you're thinking.
I fully agree with you that they're protecting rich, powerful, connected people at the expense of young women. Pretty much it. There's the rule of law in our country, and then there's vigilante justice. So the rule of law would say, well, he was arrested 20 years ago, and they did some sort of sweetheart deal, this Alex Acosta guy, and they got 18 months rather than 18 years because they worked out some deal, and that's for the Justice Department and for the rule of law to basically comprehend that. But on the flip side, it's funny. I was watching Steven Crowder, and he goes, you know what they do to pedophiles in Russia, right? He goes, you didn't hear this story? He goes, yeah, so some father found out that some pedophile was like talking to his daughter. So what happened was, turns out the pedophile decided to suicide himself. And he dig grave for 30 feet, and he stabbed himself in the back 25 times. Whoopsie! I guess he suicided himself. So it just basically shows, in Russia, they'll deal with a situation with vigilante justice. Now, one might say, he got exactly what he deserved, bro. He's a pedophile. On the flip side, in America, we have to deal with rule of law. And sometimes you might not like the outcome of the rule of law, but that's for the Justice Department or whoever it was that made that deal. I fully agree with you that they're protecting rich, powerful people.
You just sounded like the guy from Despicable Me.
Yeah, the bald guy with the...
What, is this person a good person?
You just sounded like the guy from Despicable Me.
I'm from Baku, PBD.
Baku, Azerbaijan.
This is me.
Let me ask you a question. Did any of the people that were at your house talking, did any of them believe that Trump is, meaning not Trump is guilty, but that these guys are like, hey, listen, we have all this footage, we have CIA, Mossad, whatever, and they're like, we're in control. You're not putting any of this out there.
No.
None of them had that out. No. Okay.
But did we cover this one time?
No, Vinny, that to me is out the window. That to me is out the window.
Okay.
And the reason for it is because do you believe the call that Trump made screaming at Netanyahu about what happened with Qatar?
100%.
Do you believe
that it happened? Yeah.
Do you believe, did you not just see that Netanyahu came and apologized to Qatar of what they did without telling the president?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think a person who has that kind of blackmail on our president would allow anyone to talk to him like that?
No way.
No.
Then it's done.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Because whoever has blackmail has authority. And Netanyahu shows me no authority around Trump. And I know at one point I'm like, maybe there is. Maybe let me watch it. But then when you hear multiple times, we're like, yeah, we have decided to build on Gaza. We're thinking about putting a Trump Tower or something like that. And then Netanyahu makes the famous look. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
No, this guy's a funny guy. No, he is toying with these guys. But do I think he has, the ice cold blood? Like, do I think his blood is pure ice cold? I think it's got a drop of warm red blood in it, and he hides it. And make sure you never see it. Because when I asked Eric Trump multiple times, I said, so have you seen your dad get emotional? First, we talk about driving. He says one time he's driving in a Rolls Royce and everybody's flipping one off. He says, look, everybody loves me here.
55 miles an hour in the Jersey Turnpike.
Did he ever make you breakfast? Oh, no, he never made us breakfast. Did he ever cry? Yeah, we all got emotional with this last election.
Yeah.
He didn't want to say it, but he said we all got emotional with this election. I believe him. Look at this. That's the Mar-a-Lago to the left. And look, can you imagine Trump at a gas station filling up the tank with his...
Gas is $1.29.
Now he says he doesn't drive at all.
No, it's actually 29 cents. That's how cheap. No, I'm kidding.
And even Eric Trump said there's a picture.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
Eric
gas
talked about
under
this.
Trump used to be 29 cents.
Yeah.
Eric referred to, I think
Now
Eric
it's
used the word epic. He said
$4.79.
there's also a picture of him at the car in the pink shirt that's rather epic.
Yeah.
Because he's at a gas station.
Anyways, let's get to the next story here. Let's talk about the Israel ceasefire. So the Israel ceasefire that's taking place right now, I believe Witkoff and Kushner are on their way to Egypt to negotiate the deal and see what's going to be happening there. But let me read a couple of these things and then we'll get them right into it. Rob, is that the one telling us that they're on their way there?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Overseas, President Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, are headed to Egypt this morning, hoping to nail down a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. It is an agreement that could end the war and bring home the remaining hostages taken in the October 7th terrorist attacks. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv. Matt, what's the latest there?
Yeah, good morning, Willie. So we're getting some new details starting to emerge from Israel about those negotiations that are set to begin tomorrow. President Trump announced yesterday that Israel agreed to an initial line on the map for its eventual withdrawal from Gaza. Now, once Hamas agrees, the president says the ceasefire and prisoner exchange will begin immediately. Netanyahu himself, Israel's prime minister, addressed the Israeli public last night, saying he hopes that all of this will wrap up in these talks in just a few days, after which the remaining 20 living hostages will be returning home. But there are still a lot of details to work out here, Willie.
You can pause right there. So right here, a couple things. Tens of thousands of people are in the streets of Tel Aviv pressuring Netanyahu to close the deal on the hostage release. Boom, that's taking place. Then you have Witkoff and Kushner, which we just talked about. And then you have President Trump issuing a new warning to Hamas to move quickly on hostage release, or bets are off over peace deal. Tom, your thoughts on what's going on here?
Well, there's a couple things that are going on in Gaza that we saw over the weekend. No speculation. Everyone agrees. All the news media, everybody's reporting it the same way. Even news media doesn't like each other. There is a street which is forming a line. There's a map of Gaza, and there's a street that says, hey, you can go from, you can go from west to east, down the street, across the center of Gaza, and they have sirens going off, and they have announcements of saying, you guys got to evacuate. You got to evacuate here to clear this out, this zone. And I think, the peace deal, there's this section that I think Israel's going to go in there and saying, okay, any of you Hamas that don't want to get with points 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9, on the peace deal, once all the citizens and everybody are out of there, we are going to sweep this thing if you're still there. And I think this is basically the end of the end in this area. And so that's what we're hearing. The other thing is that Hamas didn't say absolutely no, and there's a kind of not quite a neutral, but Egypt in there, allowing them to have a place to come talk about it. So I see all of that as progress, but I'm still skeptical on Hamas. But I think this is progress, number one. And number two, I think it's really bad news for Hamas, because once this evacuation order and all this section, and you and I looked at that map, that one street that goes straight across, man, everything that's inside there that is holding a gun and behaving badly, you don't need an insurance actuarial table to determine what's about to happen to that. They are going to sweep this thing.
Adam.
So by the time this episode comes out, tomorrow's October 7th. So by the time a lot of people watch this, it'll be the 1-year anniversary. I'm sorry, the 2-year anniversary of October 7th. So I'll ask the following questions. What did this war accomplish? Because if you look at it from the Palestinian perspective, if you go back to October 6th, 2 years ago, literally today, 2 years ago, they were living in actual normalcy. Now, you might critique the extent of which this quote-unquote blockade was in Gaza, but they were free, as much as that means.
As much as the Middle East area can be free.
There's literally no free place in the Middle East, which is the hypocrisy of free Palestine. There's not one free place in the Middle East other than Israel. But look at Gaza now. How did this benefit the Palestinian people? I feel horrible for these people. Like anyone that doesn't view this as a humanitarian crisis.
By the way, that right there is a drone shot of Gaza, and I'm just trying to figure out, was Hamas hiding in every single building?
Well, so this
Hamas
isn't Detroit.
Does a lot
this
of
is
Booby,
Gaza.
yeah, Hamas does a lot of booby traps.
No, Adam, hold on. You cannot tell me that is complete and total. That looks like a nuke went off. That is insane.
So you're absolutely right. And I would argue that this is exactly what Hamas wanted. Think about that for a second, because I didn't say the Palestinian people. This is what Hamas wanted, because they knew when they went in on October 7th and they killed all these people and took hostages. You think this is their first time dealing with the IDF? They've been feuding with these guys for years. They know what they're doing. They were willing to martyr their own people to sacrifice for their cause. So October 6th, they were living in somewhat normalcy. You see videos of, dude, Gaza is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Do you understand that? Just north of it is Tel Aviv. It's a gorgeous Mediterranean Sea town. But look at the town now. So did this help the Palestinian people? Not at all. Did it help the Palestinian cause? I would say yes. So this October 7th was the best and worst thing to happen to Israel. What do I mean? Well, regionally, Israel is kicking everyone's ass. Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad. We see what's going on in Iran. Everyone's lost. Syria, Lebanon, Hezbollah. But globally, this has affected the brand of Israel and even Jewish people for that matter. So, they say you can, win the battle but lose the war. There's a lot going on with that. So I think from a Trump perspective, this is going to possibly be the biggest deal he's ever done, if he can get this done. The one glimmer of hope that I do have is that Trump, remember when he went around the Middle East and he had all those, he went to Saudi, he went to Dubai, went to Qatar, he had all these meetings. What's the likelihood, he said, guys, we got to end this war and I need your help. And you hear him say, I want to thank Jordan, I want to thank Egypt, I want to thank Saudi, I want to thank Qatar. He's understanding that in order for this deal to get done, it's not about Hamas. It's about the 99% of the rest of the Muslim Arab community that says, let's help you with this. And if he can do that, there's a possibility of a ceasefire and a peace deal, but I don't trust Hamas at all.
You're well read on this. What do you think the effectiveness of the commission that will be led by Trump and Blair? Because that's different. There's never been I don't want to say the word, but I'm going to say it, kind of like a mini UN that they're establishing with world leaders from other places that are going to be in governance. What do you think the potential for success with that is?
Well, I trust Trump and Kushner and Witkoff, Tony Blair. I mean, isn't he like...
I'm talking about the commission that they're going to set up.
Partially responsible for what happened many years ago in the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan? That's a whole other conversation. It's kind of like letting the wolf into the sheep's den. But as far as the commission, I would love to see a coalition of like-minded, moderate Arab states who's saying, we want stability in the region. We all know the biggest, baddest actor in the region has been the Islamic Republic of Iran. They've been defanged, and we see what's going on with that. But I think this coalition for regional stability is the most important coalition that Trump might have put together in the history of the Middle East. The only downside is Hamas cannot be a part of it. And Hamas is going to have a choice to say, do I really want to disarm and give these hostages back, or do I want to literally rule a city of ashes? And if you know anything about Hamas, they're a big believer in this thing called jihad, and that trumps everything, so to speak.
Vinny.
Well, so tomorrow is October 7th, 2 years. I remember 2 years, it was October, I want to say 9th. No, I'm sorry. It was like a week after October 7th. John Kirby under Biden said, somebody was like, so how did this happen? How could the most secure location on the entire planet have this attack happen? They didn't know, 6 hours this. And you remember what he said? Now's not the time. It's been 2 years. There's still nobody talking about how that happened. I think to find out how we got here, we have to figure out what happened. There's been no explanation of how that happened, Pat. I saw Israeli IDF soldiers in Israel, and it's all in Hebrew with subtitles, and the guy is saying, we got stand-down orders. At the hours of this time and this time, stand-down orders. That guy needs to, I don't know what's happening in their courts. Who would give that type of order to IDF soldiers not to respond? It's almost like what's happened in Chicago. Don't fight, stay back. So that has to be answered. And I think this dragged out 2-year war, Adam, they were going to do this, in my opinion, regardless. What I think the anger...
They who? They Hamas?
No. I think Bibi, the goal was to wipe... I think the mission was to do this, but... And by the way, it's not anti-Semitism that's happening. I think it's anger at the Israeli government. If you were going to do it, Do it. They
Tom,
should have came in and
What do you say
attacked.
about that?
I don't know. I mean, you're saying that Israel would have done it anyway. Destroy Gaza.
Yes, it was going to happen regardless, Tommy.
There were two parts of Gaza: the part above ground, a part underground. The part above ground, there was a huge percentage of people living in Gaza, including Jewish people, Israelis that lived in Gaza. So there was all the citizens that were living at peace and had a working economy. And you see all the pictures of that. That thing we last saw there, which showed the all the boats and everything. Look at all the boats at the marina. Look at this. There's a beach community, not like
This is when?
like Florida. Yeah, this is before.
That's before and after.
Abdallah El Haji. Yeah, and
that's actually impressive, Tom. But just to clarify, there were 0 Jews living in anywhere near Gaza.
Yeah, so that's
No,
what
they're literally not allowed there.
No, they're not allowed in Gaza.
Wait a minute.
Talk about apartheid.
Yeah.
No, they're literally
not there.
not allowed to go.
Okay.
anywhere
So Tom, my
near
point
you
is
had
being
you had the above ground community that had voted for the.
But let's go with your point.
Yeah.
Let's go with your point. So, Vinny, your point is you're saying that they were going to do this regardless, is what you're saying. Okay. There's multiple arguments because I've heard this on what do you call it? It's like a broken record. It's every time it's the same thing of how did you stand down? We were one of the first podcasts to even address that with Charlie Kirk sitting exactly where you're sitting right now, right? Okay. So we got that. And this is the clip. If you want to press the first part, go ahead, Rob.
I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that's an IDF
You can
soldier.
pause it right there.
Right,
So we address this, but this is where I'm going. Where I'm going is, do I believe there was a stand down and for whatever reason they didn't come and get it? I do. Like, do I believe that? I myself, I do. Because if your intel is that smart and that brilliant, where you can send 5,000 pagers and you're this creative and you can get intel and, Trump is like, I'm sorry, what are you doing? Where are you? I can tell you exactly where you're at. Trump didn't get that intel. He got it from Israel. Mossad gave it to him, right? So you can't be that good and not know. However, that is one thing. The other, the fact that they attacked, they imposed.
100%.
Okay, so they imposed. So they imposed their attack, and this guy saying, oh, really? This is what you want to do? Let them. Look what we're going to do to them. We're going to destroy them. Do I think an instance like that could have happened? Yes. But the reality of it is what? They prompted it.
Oh, for sure.
So they prompted it. So I know this whole thing is like, it's still the lingering energy of, this is all because of Israel. This is all because of Israel. This is all because of Israel. Not the first domino. The first domino is
100%.
Hamas.
100% I agree.
The way to react, you can question the reaction and say, well, we would have done this, we would have done that. Sometimes when somebody wants to do something to you and you've told them many, many years, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Eventually, like, you want to do it? Let them do it. Let them do it and then see what happens to them. A kid screws up, you tell them don't do it. You eventually like, go ahead and put that thing in the what do you call it? Electricity. Go ahead and do it. Just let him do it one time. And then he's like, I will never do that again, right? How many more hundreds of times do I need to tell you don't put it there? So I think there was something there, again, you could say, but that's evil. That goes back to the Epstein story of Trump having the information and you haven't.
And using it as
It's
leverage.
not for the average day-to-day person, man. It's a side of this job that you have to be ice cold. I mean, what did Netanyahu do before he became the prime minister? What did he and his brother do?
They're Mossad,
What wars did they fight? No, not just Mossad. These
was a
guys were
higher
Delta
level.
Force.
Yeah.
These guys were both highest ranking level Delta Force of Israel, getting shot at. His brother died. Like they're
His
not.
brother died in the raid on Entebbe, which was a hostage rescue mission.
These are not some, good-looking millionaire life that came out that, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. They are I don't even know how to make the comparison of them in America politically. Tell me when's the last time we had a president that was Delta Force of Special Forces?
We never had one.
No. Tell me when's the last time we had somebody like that?
Never.
Like Teddy Roosevelt or
No,
something.
but he wasn't. Not this level.
Maybe Eisenhower's like the guy you have to go to, that back. Maybe even that.
Maybe.
But what I'm saying to you is, probably the best comparison to this is the George Washington-ish Like guys from the beginning that just the way they got what they got is by, we are a byproduct of America the first 100 years being very nasty. How old is Israel right now?
1948 is when they
So how old is Israel right now?
70 some years.
Okay,
right?
do the math. It's 77 years old. 70. What is it? Yeah. So I'm 77 years old. So
Correct.
check this out. If it's 70, what did America look like the first 77 years? So go 1776, go into the 1850s.
Yeah,
What did America look like?
Kind of had a civil war
Yeah.
just after that.
What I'm saying to you is like they're so in it that to say who you compared that to, yeah, we don't have people like that in America right now. These guys are true believers. They look at everybody else, and even these guys, the only people they probably look at and say you're comparable to us is a Putin, because Putin fought, Putin did. They look at the people that were warrior leaders of a nation. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to sit there and be, what are you saying? Saying, that still doesn't make sense. How could you say something like that? I totally get it. These are ice cold people that responded to what Hamas did, and then they said, okay, you want to do that? Let's wrap it up. That's what I think happened. Go ahead.
So let me ask you a question.
yeah.
So it's been, and Adam, I'm sorry, because
Yeah,
I
go
want to
ahead.
know both of you guys. So it's been 2 years. And when I'm saying I know, like this was the goal anyway, because Pat, we're talking about Hamas, tunnels, hostages. They're not going to give them up, okay? Meaning, this is going to be the fight that you're going to have regardless. Do you think if Bibi and the Israeli government, Tom, like gave everybody a week, guys, because they've killed 67, how many thousands of innocent? If
Well,
they just
relax, buddy. Half of those people are Hamas. So
you're
trusting
definitively
Hamas's
no,
numbers?
I'm not listening to any numbers.
So-
how do you have your numbers that you're saying half of them? All right,
Well,
Adam,
how do you have your numbers?
Let's just say I'll give you half.
You wanna use
I'll give
that?
you. I'll give you
Okay.
half. I'll give you half.
That's probably likely,
30,000 innocent people are dead.
What's your
My
point?
point is that here's
Yeah.
my point. Here's my point.
That
Do
war
you
is
think
nasty?
because everybody's saying that there's a bunch of anti-Semitism happening right now, I think it's anti-government. If they went in and just did it quick like that, do you think the people, like the sentiment of the world would be angry, as Israel now? I'm just curious.
I think here's what you have to realize, okay? And this is never going to go away. I think you're talking to a community of 2 billion people who hate a community of 15 million people. It's not 10x, it's 150x of their people. If there's one person in the room right now to speak on their behalf and 150 people on the other side, who are you going to believe?
Yeah, the 150 people.
That's what's happening to you. What I'm trying to say to you is that's what the world is going through right now.
But you understand my question though? If it happened faster, would there be that many angry people still?
But Vinny, let's get to the bottom of it. That's not the bottom of it. That's the bottom of it isn't that.
I'll answer Vinny's question.
But let me just say that from my perspective, that's not it. Because we'll go here and then we'll go here and then we'll go here and then we're like, yeah, but isn't it that this? No, just get to what you think is going on and what you really think is taking place. Here's what I think is really taking place. Okay, then say it if that's what you think is taking place. But the reality of it is these guys, when you're saying, they were eventually going to do it. If you live next to a certain neighbor, Vinny, where every night you're worried for the safety of your kids, you're probably eventually going to do something.
Of course.
Okay, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah. So, and that my point is, why didn't it happen faster? It's been 2 years.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, get to it.
Why didn't what happen faster?
Like, get in the tunnels and go kill. Like, go for it. Go do an
Vinny,
underground mission.
You're oversimplifying a hostage situation in a war-torn, ravaged area as if it's just like, come on, bro, let's get the hostages.
Adam, they're down to.
Did
you hear what they said? They're down to 20 alive hostages. That means they've been torturing them and killing them. No. So you've been waiting for 2 years. I'm saying, for the sake of the hostages, go and effing get them.
You don't think
and
they've
start go
thought
for it.
About that, buddy?
No, they thought about
you
it, but
think
Adam,
this is something they just came to the realization.
My point is, it's
hey guys, you
taken
probably
2
want to get
years,
those hostages.
2
That's
years,
been the
and we're
that's been
assuming,
the linchpin in
Adam,
all of this.
By the way, that's a valid question as well that Vinny's asking. Like, game one of the Yankees against, who did they play? Yankees played
Blue Jays.
Not Blue Jays, the one that they won.
Red Sox.
Red Sox. He takes Jason Fried out after 6 and 2/3 or 1/3. I don't know what it was. 6 innings and a third, right? And he takes him out. He's doing great. And he takes him out, and then they lose. It's like, why'd you take him out? Then the next game, the rookie guy's pitching, Schlechter. and he leaves him till the 8th inning. He pitches 12 strikeouts, right? And you make adjustments. And these are professionals. Yeah, that's a very valid question. Maybe that was a mistake they made. In the military, you're not going to get it right with everything that you're doing.
I agree.
Maybe that's a mistake that they made. But go ahead, Adam. Wrap this up so we can get to the next story.
You talked about this whole concept of Hanlon's razor. Not everything is this coordinated conspiratorial thing. Sometimes things just happen. Is that the whole premise of what you're talking about? Hanlon's razor?
No,
is that
Hanlon's
it's the
razor,
fact that it's
Hanlon's razor
don't
is-
chalk up put together coalition of things with just stupidity.
No,
right?
Hanlon's razor is about don't think because that person's late because they're disrespecting you and they don't respect you. Don't think that everybody is trying to do bad things. It's not malice.
Never attribute
It
malice
could be
to which can inadequately
stupidity.
explain as stupidity.
So meaning don't jump to conclusion.
Yeah. So regarding what happened that day with Charlie Kirk, let me just address that. Those questions of the total can totally be asked. I have friends in Israel. I have Jewish friends. I have friends from all over the world that ask that question. The point is that I've tried to emphasize is jumping to conclusions. People are just jumping to a conclusion. So October 7th, you asked, like, why didn't they respond? On October 8th, the world started condemning Israel 2 years ago. That to me was like, whoa. On October 8th, when the hostages were just taken, they just killed 1,200 people. The world was condemning Israel. That was a big turning point for me. I'm like, what? Even if you don't agree with some of the political and geopolitical arrangements there, you're applauding Hamas and condemning Israel the day after this atrocity? That to me was a telltale sign. As far as this October 7th, was it a stand down order? Let's just address a couple things. What day did it happen? On a Saturday morning, which is Shabbat, the Sabbath. Charlie Kirk was writing a book about turning your phone off and observing the Sabbath. A lot of people in Israel do that. This was also a week after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur on a holiday called Simchat Torah, meaning it's like the highest holy holidays in Israel. So if you're Hamas and you're gonna attack, you're gonna do it when everyone has their phones off during the holy month where they're not prepared. Now you could say, well, you should still be prepared.
The military doesn't stand down for holidays.
I totally understand that.
They actually get heightened. They get more heightened because they know that the enemy was going to
put it this way. In Israel, if they take a Saturday off at this point, then you're sleeping on the job, homeboy. Yeah. But as far as people's commentary, in my humble opinion, if you've never been to that side of the world, I mean, you've never stepped foot in Israel, the Middle East, Saudi, Iran, shush. You have no clue what it's like. You have no clue what it's like. If you're on a college campus and you've never been to that side of the world, time for you to shush. Because the loudest people in the room are the woke white liberals, not the Middle Eastern community. You don't see protests in Saudi. You don't see protests in Dubai. You don't see protests in Iran. And if you do, those people are hung the next day. It's always protests in white, woke, liberal countries that have been invaded by the Muslim Brotherhood. So we're going to see what happens here. Truly, 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 I think there's a very small segment of the Palestinian people that actually want peace. I actually don't think they want peace because they've had the opportunity to have peace deals for years and years and years and years, and they've constantly rejected it because there's a phrase they've constantly said, tell me if you've heard this, from to the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means what thing? They want it all. So they're if there's a genocide going on, really, wouldn't you want a ceasefire immediately? Like stop the ceasefire. They're like, well, let's wait and see if we like the deal or not. Okay, I get that. But if there's really a genocide, probably want to take this deal immediately, which goes to show it's all the genocide, all the apartheid, all this, it's all talking points. Like PBD said, there's 150 people saying, ceasefire now. And there's one person be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Give us the hostages. They're like, whoa. That's a little too much of a bargaining point here, buddy. You want the hostages back? So I think the truth will come out. And if this happens, Trump will get a Nobel Peace Prize, but I'm still not sold.
Let me tell you, the fact that they're doing this out there trying to make this deal happen, we hope it gets done and it gets done ASAP because there's been way too much talk and wars for the last 2 years, whether it's them or Ukraine, Russia. We'd like to see this stop. And by the way, both of those wars, just so everybody knows this, they both got started under a guy named Joseph Biden. Huh. Yeah. Joseph, for one, not under Trump. They got started under Joseph Biden.
Joseph.
And he has to now find a way to stop it. All right, let's go to another place that is a problematic place right now to be, ran by a guy named Pritzker, Illinois, Chicago. The ICE is out there, right? First of all, Rob, if you don't mind going out there and showing the clip of Pritzker talking about on Twitter, if you can go on Twitter, Pritzker tweets out something about, just go to my Twitter account.
I love that you respond. You said something last night.
If you just go to my Twitter account, and that's Pritzker right there, Rob. If you can zoom in on, yeah, please. There you go. So he says, this evening, President Trump is ordering 400 members of the Texas National Guard for deployments to Illinois, Oregon, and other locations within the United States. No officials from the federal government call me directly to discuss or coordinate. So your people are begging for leadership, and you're not providing it. If you were able to do the job, the president wouldn't need to step in. What am I going to do calling you at this point? Well, what are we going to do right now calling you? You're like, no, we have it under control. This is purely a publicity stunt on your end. Okay, purely a publicity stunt on your end. Now, let me kind of go through some of this stuff. So White House authorizes deployment of National Guard to Illinois. Rob, I think you have a clip on this, if you don't mind pulling it up. It's from the one on page 6. So President Trump and the White House is like, look, guys, we're done. We're not waiting. Calls the shot. Here's Pritzker, not happy about it with an ugly tie on. But go ahead and play this clip, Rob, if you can. Go ahead.
The secretary doesn't know what she's talking about. She frankly says that people are clapping. They're not. They're booing her on the street, and they're booing ICE and CBP. They're marching, the CBP marching on a beautiful Sunday in Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. They're raiding neighborhoods where instead of going after the bad guys, they're just picking up people who are brown and black and then checking their credentials. Are you a U.S. citizen? I don't know about you, but I don't carry around papers that say I'm a U.S. citizen. So you can imagine people are getting detained. They're getting arrested, U.S. citizens. And they did this, of course, when they raided a building in the middle of the night in South Shore. 130 people that were emptied out of this building. They were going after a few gang members, and instead they broke windows, they broke down doors, they ransacked the place, and there were people that were held, elderly people and children zip-tied. Elderly people held for 3 hours at a time. Really? They are the ones that are making it a war zone. They need to get out of Chicago. If they're not going to focus on the worst of the worst, which is what the president said they were going to do, they need to get the heck out.
Okay, so Chicago. White House calls, deploys a National Guard. Federal Trump is sending 300 National Guard troops to Illinois. The latest example of federal government sending guardsmen to blue cities amidst ongoing violent riots and lawlessness that local leaders like Pritzker have refused to step in to quell. President Trump has authorized the 300 folks to go out there. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson said in a statement, Pritzker on Saturday said he was informed of President Trump's administration plans to send the 300 people. So, Tom, what do you think is going on over here?
So I'll tell you what's going on. The Dems need their next George Floyd. They need blood, and they want blood. They want somebody on their back, bleeding, shot by a federal officer or shot by the National Guard. That's what they want. They do not care about the people. If they cared about the people, they would be looking at the impact of the crime. And he said, oh, these people weren't cheering, they were booing. How many clips do we need on X and elsewhere of people saying, I'm glad you're here. I live over there. Where are you? Can't you help this school over here? How many of these? These are not paid actors. There are problems. But guess what? You can't run for higher office and you can't run for president if you're running on a platform that says that you were unable to improve Illinois and Chicago. So you couldn't help there. Now you want a bigger job? Really? Your political LinkedIn looks pretty terrible here. You didn't do a very good job in your prior assignment. That's what's going on. And Trump is not going to go in here just to do it. He's doing it because it's necessary and because leadership stands up and stands in the gap for the innocent when it's necessary. And this is being politicized by J.B. Pritzker and others so they could use the A word, authoritarianism. Oh, it's fascist authoritarianism, sending in the military because that's their narrative. But the truth, as you take a look at these things, is they're going to find all the images, they're going to portray it this way or that way, and then in Chicago, when angry mobs show up, people that don't want to be deported and people that support them suddenly show up around them. You tell the police, speaking of stand-down orders, you issue a stand-down order in Chicago to leave these people hanging out. They want blood. They want that crowd to form around those officers. They want those officers to kill somebody because now they've got their George Floyd. And then as the old phrase go, now you have the bloody albatross to wave and to claim victimhood. That's what's going on.
Yeah, and by the way, while this is happening, Trump pauses the $2.1 billion Chicago infrastructure project over race-based contracting concerns. To make that sure that the funding is not flowing via race-based contracting, the director of the Office Management and the Budget, the OMB, announced this Friday $2.1 billion Chicago infrastructure project, specifically the Red Line extension and the Red and Purple modernization project have been put on hold to ensure funding is not flowing via race-based contracting. I mean, while this is taking place, so they're going through that. Is that it, Rob?
Yes.
Go ahead and play the clip.
The people of Chicago have been begging for these improvements.
Of
This is
course.
like the California train to nowhere. The money comes in, it gets corruptively skimmed, and the people don't get the red line and purple line so they can go back and forth to work.
Watch this here. Go ahead.
Right now, the red line only goes as far as 95th Street, but the extension project would take it further south and east all the way to 130th Street. But for the moment, all that is on hold, with the Trump administration putting a freeze on $2.1 billion in federal grants that Congress approved for the project.
We're going to use every tool that's available to me to ensure that those dollars are restored to the people of this city.
The U.S. Department of Transportation said it is in the process of reviewing the funding for the project, quote, to ensure no additional federal dollars go towards discriminatory, illegal, and wasteful contract.
Vinny, your thoughts on this story?
They couldn't pay for it themselves. This is U.S. taxpayers paying for their trains.
I just hope people on that side are listening. Please don't just listen to them and watch mainstream media, which is at an all-time low of trust. I hope they're watching podcasts like this, and I'm not trying to promote our show. Just listen to another side. They don't care. Oh, my mic just went. I just lost.
We just lost Vinny.
Yeah.
You're back.
They don't care about you at all. Okay, zero. That's all BS propaganda talking points. And then the attitude towards ICE, Pat. Gavin Newsom, all that rhetoric, that dog whistling that they do. Same with JB Pritzker on Saturday. To go back to the ICE, officers, DHS officers, were ambushed in what looks like to be a coordinated attack. 10 cars boxed them in. Maramar Martinez, okay, this one girl, she was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. She didn't fire, but she used her vehicle to ram these the DHS vehicles. They trapped them in, and they fired at her, hit her, didn't kill her. She took off and was found a mile away at a repair shop before taken to the hospital. And then another suspect, Anthony Ian Santos, was arrested for assaulting and impeding officers. Okay, Rob, can you show that one video of, like, this is what they're dealing with. This is what these guys are dealing with. Keep going, Rob. I think I slacked them to you. Oh yeah, so look, that white car is an ICE vehicle. Look what's happening. Can you imagine, Pat? You're trying to do your job.
ICE vehicle?
The white car is an ICE vehicle. You can see how the things are flashing. This person, this individual, this isn't the girl. This is just another instance. Look at it, ramming and driving and pushing the car. And then look, Adam, the guy's trying to look, and then still.
Who is the Escalade? Who is the black Suburban?
It's just a Chicago person that's just trying to get involved and try to attack ICE agents and stop them. Yeah.
There were allegations that it was a stolen vehicle being used as a ram.
Look at this.
I haven't found anything from the police department that confirmed that, Pat.
What?
But it certainly looks like a bunch of guys stole the car and used it as a ramming tool.
I know I said this last week. Attacks on ICE agents are up 800%. Okay, where's it? It's not coming organically. And Pat, we talked about the sources and the people that are funding and pushing this stuff. I really hope we get to the root of the cause of causing the division and this insanity and this chaos in the country. And then Pritzker was on Tapper. He said it was propaganda. Rob, do you have that clip as well?
Yep.
He said it's really hard to know the facts. You just saw what you saw, Pat. Listen to this guy.
DHS says that CBP officers shot and wounded a woman in Chicago yesterday after, they say, she allegedly rammed a law enforcement vehicle, and agents were boxed in by multiple cars. The spokesperson for DHS, Tricia McLaughlin, accused Chicago police of leaving the scene and refusing to assist agents in securing the area What do you know about this incident? Were federal agents boxed in and assaulted?
Well, we don't have a lot of facts. What happens in these sorts of incidents is typically ICE puts out a press release before anybody else can speak with the press, and then it gets reported on social media and elsewhere. Remember, these are the same folks who killed a person, unarmed person, just a couple of weeks ago in Franklin Park. At first, they said that the officer had been threatened with his life. The reality of it and the truth of it has now come out, and that wasn't the case. They killed somebody. So here, it's really hard to know exactly what the facts are, and they won't let us access the facts. They are just putting out their propaganda. And then we've got to later
like you just did talking about
So propaganda in Dallas, they're not going
it's your
on
propaganda.
Rules.
My propaganda is okay.
Yeah, and they're not sniping and shooting at ICE agents. It's like this whole attitude of all these leaders that you're talking about, these horrible freaking leaders. Pat, there was a New York Post reported that the chief of patrol, John Hine, gave an order to stand down and not help ICE agents. Okay, do you understand how diabolical that is? Your brother in arms, they need your help. And you're saying, oh, guys, you're responding? Do not respond to that. Okay, it's not going to go well for these guys. Okay, they are doing their jobs. All right? And it's unbelievable, Pat. Like Chicago, guess how many shootings happened this weekend in Chicago? There's probably 3 or 4 mass shootings. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. But he can't just say, hey, Trump, thank you. Hey, thanks. Thanks for getting people that aren't supposed to be in the country illegally that I basically told them, hey, come to our city because we're sanctuaries.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Here's the question. And then, Adam, I'm going to come to you. So the question is the following. What is Pritzker and all these leftist politicians going to do when the streets of Chicago shuts down crime within 2 weeks and it's cleaned up? Now what are you going to say?
He's screwed.
What are you going to say? Actually think about the optics. He, the governor, is going to hope for crime to increase when National Guard comes in. To say, imagine what psychological issues you have to say, kill somebody, crime. I'm speculating. I'm saying my opinion is they're going to be rooting for crime to increase. They know, what did the mayor of D.C. say? Hey, they kind of cleaned it up within 12 days. All right. If they do that in Chicago, what do you think the African-American families who voted for Kamala are all of a sudden going to be saying?
Hey, wait a minute.
It's kind of working, man. Maybe this guy knows what he's doing. Adam.
Yeah, well, this is politics. There's no chance that someone like J.B. Pritzker is going to be like, you know what, Trump?
He's right.
We really need your help here, buddy. Like, our city is out of control. And by the way, we've had a Democratic established government here for about 100 years, but we really need your help.
And my DoorDash was hijacked 3 times this week.
There's no chance
By the way,
that they're going to say something like that.
24 wounded in Chicago just this weekend.
And unfortunately, this is why they call it Chirac, because it's like, that's it? Only 5 people this weekend? Congratulations, your numbers are actually down in Chicago. But let's not pretend everything is just finey dandy here in Chicago. We're desensitized to just people getting killed, people getting shot every weekend. Chicago, D.C., no big deal. By the way, it also happens in Memphis and it happens in certain other cities, Little Rock, what have you, but even in Fort Lauderdale. But there's no secret that the worst of the worst of the worst is going on in these Democratic sanctuary strongholds. And Chicago is the tip of the spear. And now, J.B. Pritzker, of all the nonsense that he rattled off, there was one thing he did say that was accurate when he said, let's focus on the worst of the worst. I agree. I don't want to see ICE coming in and just jacking somebody's nanny or the gardener. There needs to be a pathway to citizenship for a lot of these people. Because how are we going to deport 10 million people? But if we focus on the worst of the worst of the worst, then that's where I think we'll have some success right there. Now, as far as, Tom, you made a comment about they need their George Floyd. A lot of it is accurate. Exactly.
And by the way, if you'd volunteer to die for us, we're going to put you on T-shirts. We're going to paint you on murals on the side of buildings. Your family will have your memory all over the place. If you'll just be our martyr. It's sad,
it's
but
actually
it's
so
dark.
true, because if you actually take a compare and contrast to what you would call the left's victim mentality and the right's actual victim in Charlie Kirk versus George Floyd, it's non-comparison. It's actually laughable. George Floyd, peace be upon him, as they say, habitual line stepper, in and out of jail, problematic, druggie, what have you, beat his girlfriend, but he's the martyr of the left. Charlie Kirk, who I would literally say is one of the greatest humans I've ever met, to see how his legacy is being trounced on by certain people is pathetic to me. One of the greatest people ever, and he's being sort of labeled this racist, disgusting person. Charlie was a great person, and George Floyd was a shitty person, and it just goes to show whose role models and martyrs each side looks up to.
All right, so let's get to this next story. So Diddy Combs, Sean Diddy Combs, he's found guilty. Rob, if you can pull up the videos on this one, that'd be great. He's found guilty. Let me just read this. So after he was found guilty, and I think he has to do, 4.5 years, Rob, something like that he has to do.
Correct.
Go
4
to page
years, I want to
23,
say.
4.5 years, something like that. There was maybe sentenced to just around 4 years behind bars in criminal case on Friday, but he still faces a mountain of lawsuits accusing him of sexual violence, sexual violence, and other disturbing acts. The nearly 7 civil suits will prove to be a headache for Combs, as he already faces legal fees in his federal sex crimes case that could easily top $15 million so far. Damn. Expert told the Post. Lawyers were split on if the Bad Boy Records founder would fight like hell or dip into his dwindling estimated $400 million fortune to quickly pay off his long list of accusers. Attorney Nicole Brennicky said that it wouldn't shock her if Combs moved to settle many of the claims, since the financial impact would be minimal and he would quickly end the continuing headache. But hip-hop and celeb attorney Bradford Cohen says the cases he reviewed appear thin and that Combs should fight back. Settling doesn't make sense in the long run because the others are going to want to pursue you even harder now that you once settled. One convicted of two prostitution case counts of his Manhattan federal trial. He was still acquitted on the more serious sex trafficking raps. He just got exonerated on multiple felonies. I think he's going to come out stronger than ever, the attorney said. It's a business decision on how much he wants to spend, and I'm sure his lawyers are not cheap. Now, while this is taking place, okay, Rob, what do you have here?
This is Fox News talking about the appeal process. Diddy's attorneys are going to appeal the sentencing.
Okay, go for it.
CB Cotton is live in New York City with the latest. Hi, CB.
Hey, Mike. Well, between the years, Sean Diddy Combs has already spent in jail, and the credit he could receive for good behavior, it's possible he's out of prison in 2.5 years. But Diddy's defense attorneys are still not satisfied with this prospect.
What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he second-guessed the jury's verdict. We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
As part of the judge's 4-year sentence, Diddy was also ordered to pay a $500,000 fine, and he'll have 5 years of supervised release once he's out. For more than 4 hours yesterday, supporters, defense attorneys, and Diddy's adult children, well, they all pleaded for mercy. Diddy addressed the court himself, apologizing and saying his own behavior was disgusting, shameful, and sick. His eight-week trial over the summer accused him of creating a criminal enterprise using fame, fortune, and fear to coerce and sex traffic women into drug-fueled sex parties with male escorts called freak-offs or hotel nights. He was acquitted of the most serious charges.
He begged the judge for another chance and vowed that he was a changed man. The judge told Diddy, you abused them physically, emotionally, and psychologically. So that's that. Now, 50 Cent.
What's he doing there, Pat? Did you see that photo?
Yeah, I mean, some of these pictures
Rob,
are...
the other way
Great
around.
artist.
What's he doing down there? One more. What's he doing right there?
That's when he was, apparently that is when he received the sentence. He fell to the floor and started banging on his chair crying.
Oh.
Or it could have been a freak off under the table. You don't know what's going on.
By the way, when he goes to prison, let's remember that pose.
Tom.
Oh, there's Tom again. Can we make a note for when Tom makes inappropriate comments?
Oh, no.
Let's just keep score. He's the GOAT.
Well, listen, at least one of the things is it was the first time Tom used the bathroom in 7 years.
It's true.
7 years he had to go.
All right, let's go through.
Tom is the Diddy of inappropriate comments.
While this is going on, Diddy had a speaking gig this week. I don't know if you guys are going to go watch him speak, but he had a speaking gig this week. And 50 Cent wastes no time trolling the 50-month sentence. And he goes out there and says, Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced 50 months in prison on federal prostitution charges. The rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, posted on X not long after Diddy's sentence was revealed, offering to take his spot on a upcoming speaking engagement. Hey, to whoever was booking Diddy for speaking engagement, I heard he won't be able to make it. I'm available, 50 Cent wrote, including a link to his website, G-Unit Brands. He was likely referencing speaking engagements that Diddy has booked for next week in Miami, which the prosecution revealed during the sentencing hearing. The two artists are longtime rivals, obviously going back and forth. Is this it, Rob?
Yes.
Because whoever has booking him, I'll be able to. So, Vinny, what are you thinking with this whole Diddy lawsuit, everything that's going on here?
I mean, I'm just for all the people, all the Cassies that were, on camera, beaten, all the people that were drugged, that didn't want to be drugged and all that stuff. I think that this is some type of, 4 years is at least something. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I thought for a minute, because Adam, we were talking about this, like he was going to walk. Like with all the, Tom, were you honestly thinking that he was going to do time? Like, did you actually feel like I honestly, from everything I was following, I was like, oh, he's going to walk. So at least a 4-year sentence, they're going to appeal, whatever. I don't know. He'll probably do what, 2 years? 2 years? It's not fair, but I want something. There's some accountability where he's going to be, because he's already been in jail for how long now? Has it been a year? So he'll be, I think altogether it'll be 3 years. I would hope for more, but.
Yeah, I look at it a couple different ways. First of all, you can change the headline that said Diddy's lawyers refuse to stop billing and are going to appeal till the end of the earth and the return of Christ, so they can. There's a lot that goes on in these criminal cases on the legal side. And so lawyers like, hey, we're going to appeal this, we're going to appeal this. There are federal sentencing guidelines, and he was guilty of certain crimes. And the judge gave the sentence that was within those guidelines, in addition to the time he's already been incarcerated, throughout the trial. Mm-hmm. So that's there. The other thing that people aren't talking about is that as part of the sentencing process in America, you're allowed to, not allowed, but part of it is you have what's called victim impact statements. And then you also have what's called pretense investigation reports. So victim impact statements, where the people that were victims can go up there and they can present to the judge their own verbal representations without histrionics of how they were impacted and their fears and things like this. And the judge can consider that, but he's tied to what is he guilty of and what are the federal sentencing guidelines. So think of those as goalposts, so the judge can decide which side of the goalpost he wants to put the football. So 50 Cent also came in and said, I am a relevant party. I have been at odds with him. I have felt for it. And I think we have it here somewhere. Some of the words, look at this. I've had an ongoing dispute. This is a quote from 50 Cent that this has been posted online. This is allegedly the exact words used by 50 Cent if this posting is correct. I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He's very dangerous. Multiple times I've feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him, and now this is his opinion, but he's expressing
what he says later, his son, who's dealing with his own rape allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public, and babies need it. My Netflix doc is coming.
So, yeah. So
by the way, 50 Cent is trolling everybody. You can't take this as a.
But the interesting thing here is
a true
Adam,
character.
This is a moment. You may laugh at the
validation.
last part, and the last part is kind of funny, but the whole point of this is the judge hears this, and then the
Trust
judge,
me, bro. Here's a joke. That's basically
well,
what
he's
this
a
is.
troll too.
And then the judge says, I will now hear from friends and family of the defendant. And that's where the defendant, you only have one thing to say, whether you're lying or not. You have to say, oh, this trial and everything has hit me so hard. I've reconsidered all this. What a disgusting reflection I can finally see in the mirror of life. And, you're reading a statement basically prepared by the judge. However, the judge has had the benefit of the witnesses, the benefit of the trial itself, and seeing the demeanor of Diddy throughout the course of it. And so I think it's rather interesting that 50 Cent presents certain facts of his opinion and then chooses to troll at the end of it. But this is a normal part of our process. Statements get to be made, and the judge takes them all into account before looking at the federal guidelines and saying, here's the guidelines, here's what he's actually guilty of, and I can put you left or right in those guidelines based on other things.
Well said, Tom. Well, look, here's what Michael Che of SNL had to say. He goes, listen, regarding Diddy, it's really hard to watch somebody I love get punished. But hey, that's what Diddy would do. So Diddy has been found guilty for 4 years that he's going to be in jail. Now, let's understand what he's been found guilty of. 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but he was not found guilty. He was acquitted of sex trafficking and RICO charges, which we know the mafia is all about here.
Working with a group.
He's definitely guilty of lots of baby oil, lots of freak offs, and some sexual abuse. But I also have a prognosis, a hypothesis, a prediction. I think in about 3 years, the hottest, biggest podcast guest is going to be Diddy. This guy's going to come out of jail, whether it's in 2 years or 4 years, and everybody's going to want to hear from him. The fact that he was about to go on some speaking tour in Miami is just sort of a telltale sign of what's going to happen here. And by the way, how quickly we all move on. Do you know when Diddy was found guilty? July 2nd, so basically 3 months ago. Have you heard Diddy's name in the news once in the last 3 months? I've heard very little of Diddy. It just goes to show you the media controls the narrative. They punch us all out there. All of a sudden, Diddy's back in the news. He'll go back in the jail. People won't think about him. Then he'll come back out again, and everyone's going to want Diddy on the podcast.
Well, you've covered the case. He's guilty. You're waiting for the sentence. What more can you talk about?
Yeah.
Well, everyone was very, very preoccupied with
Kind of
Diddy.
put you in your place. Is what
Take
Tom
that,
just
take that,
did. That's
take that.
that's
Right.
that's called.
I'll meet you under the desk.
Yeah, he puts you in your place. You can go under the desk if you
He
want.
put you
That's
there.
fine.
But he puts you on, So, anyways, let's go to the next story here. Next story I want to go to is there's this guy, like I was saying earlier. This guy's when the biggest highlight of your career is bumping into your center as an NFL quarterback playing for the Jets. Maybe he wanted to kind of outdo that highlight. But this is not the way to do it, Mark Sanchez.
Jeez.
No.
This is just not the way to do it. Was known as the best-looking guy in the NFL. Is that it, Rob? I don't even know if we can play that. Look at that. Look at that right there.
The
Look
butt
at that.
fumble?
Look at this. Boom. Okay, look at okay, boom. Boom.
Oh, my God.
Okay. You pause that right there, Rob.
Oh,
That's a
Hey,
great...
a different guy has the ball now.
Yeah. So, anyways, Mark Sanchez had a rough weekend. To say the least, Vinny. I mean, I don't want to underestimate what happened there. This is truly a qualified rough weekend that he had. If you want to kind of tell the audience, Vinny, what happened, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay, so all right, so on Saturday, mind you, I think pretty sure Mark Sanchez is in Indianapolis because who did Indianapolis play this weekend? Was it the Ravens? He works for Fox. He's a contributor. Apparently, allegedly, he's at a bar. It's midnight, and from what the reports are saying, he's doing wind sprints in the alley. Okay,
what?
I'm not even joking, guys. And I don't even want to make light of this, but so a 69-year-old grease truck driver shows up,
What?
Adam, and he's in the alley because guess what he's doing, Adam? His job. Okay, he's doing his job.
Tell me what a grease truck is. They come at the end of the night and take all the
used grease,
all the oil and
grease.
everything out of the fryer. He's doing his job. It's late. Restaurants close. He comes, does the rounds, basically picking up garbage, which is old grease.
Old grease. Not a freaking great job, but apparently this driver, 69, he has hearing aids. They're out because the truck is really, really loud and messing with his ears. So Sanchez, according to police, walks up to the guy's truck in the alley behind the 2 hotels downtown, opens the guy's truck door and starts an argument because, hey, you're doing wind sprints at midnight, whatever. The driver says Sanchez was drunk, slurring words, smelled like booze, and it got worse. There's a video that shows him chasing the old guy, a 70-year-old guy, grabbing him.
There's a video?
There's a video. We don't have the video, but that's what the cops are saying. There's a video apparently showing that's how they arrested him inside the hospital. They grab him, shove him against the wall by a dumpster. So, and now this is the reports that the guy felt threatened, pepper sprayed Sanchez. Okay, Sanchez keeps coming. The guy stabs him. The 70-year-old stabs Sanchez a bunch of times and says it's self-defense. So Sanchez goes in the hospital with stab wounds, upper body, stable condition. He was in critical condition for a minute. And the old guy walks in with a cut in his face. Can we show, guys, look at what the altercation with Sanchez. Look at what this, imagine your grandfather is trying to do a grease truck.
That's not a cut. He's gashed from his.
By the way,
Sanchez had a knife, or this guy had a knife?
This guy had a knife, but for what it looks like, Sanchez might have gotten a hold of it because he stabbed him so hard it went through his cheek and cut his tongue. Okay, and now Sanchez is facing 3 charges: battery causing injury, unlawful entry to a motor vehicle. He went in this guy's cab, okay, and public intoxication. All right, and now here's my thing. And again, this is coming from a guy that, you know, used to drink and get aggressive in bars and stuff like that. He needs help. Like if you're at the point where you're getting drunk and you're doing that to a 70-year-old guy that is just doing his job, there is something deeper. I think he needs freaking genuine help because, listen, we've all been drunk. We've all had fun. If a guy's blocking an alley because you're doing wind sprints at midnight and you do that, that's the altercation you have. There's something deeper.
He's not blocking an alley. He's driving in an alley to do his job.
Exactly.
And he's blocking you from using this alley while you're drunk after midnight to do wind sprints.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's something deeper.
Is this a witness, Rob?
Yes.
What is he saying?
Here.
Stopped just up the road, so I followed him up and stayed across the street to see what was going on.
According to police, Sanchez and the unnamed driver had an argument about where the truck was parked. At some point, Sanchez tried to get into the truck and even shoved the driver as the driver was trying to flag security. It escalated into a fight in which the victim pepper sprayed and later stabbed Sanchez multiple times. A short time after getting to the alley, Laughlin saw both men carried off on gurneys.
The second person, they brought him out of the alley here on the gurney, and he was setting up on the gurney and had a towel wrapped all the way around his head.
Laughlin saw the delivery truck backed into the dock and says there was enough room for a car to pass by. According to court documents, security footage shows Sanchez throwing the driver into the dumpster and nearby pallets.
At first, I just didn't want to believe that it was him.
Sanchez reportedly told police he didn't know what happened and could only remember grabbing for a window at a nearby pub. Laughlin recalls seeing someone come out of the business, not knowing it was Sanchez at the time.
You don't think you're going to see somebody, you know, recognizable in something like this.
In a statement, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears condemned the incident, adding in part what began as a disagreement between a 38-year-old former professional athlete and a 69-year-old man should not have escalated into violence or left anyone seriously injured.
The 69-year-old is doing his job. He's backing in there to do, and on top of that, a crappy job, okay? And what the hell is Sanchez doing? Like, what? You're in town to work for the NFL, for Fox or whatever. You're doing a reporting thing. What the hell kind of mentality goes in your head? That's Tom. That's something, like I said, that's way deeper than just alcoholism and blacking out.
So he got a misdemeanor charge, battery with injury, unlawful entry of vehicle, and public intoxication. He was later released from the hospital and taken to jail. Bond was reported at $300. His initial court appearance scheduled to be Tuesday following the incident.
And you know why he got arrested? Because they showed them they showed, like, people like, what's going on? Here's a video. The guy's doing his job, and you don't like where he's parked. Who the hell is Mark Sanchez? You're not security. You're not working for the damn building. He didn't like it, and he got in the cab.
I think the headline, Vinny, is what was he thinking according to the allegations? According to the allegations and the police who saw some camera footage, and then they see the wounds on people, and they investigate everything, whatever security cameras they've got, and the police, these are the charges. He hasn't been found guilty, but these are the charges, the allegations, and you can certainly step back from this and say, what the hell are you thinking? Might you need some help? Is this, what are you hanging out at a bar
at midnight,
getting completely blotto when you're on location for this? I think that suggests that I would agree with you. If these allegations are true, and this is all that's coming down, it really suggests that maybe there's something going on inside Mark Sanchez that he needs to get some help.
100%. I agree.
Dude, so imagine you're just the average person following sports over the weekend, and you go onto ESPN like I did, and it was like, Mark Sanchez stabbed and hospitalized. You're like, oh man, like, I know Mark Sanchez. What's going on here? And then the next day, it's like, yeah, Mark Sanchez arrested. I was like, what?
Yeah, what happened?
And they came in and arrested him while he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
So you're like, what?
What's going on?
This is why you never jump to conclusions.
Never.
And it's like, what is going on here? So in my opinion, this is what's happening. Mark Sanchez is in Indianapolis because he's going to call the game on Sunday against the Ravens. By the way, they beat the Raiders. They beat the crap out of the Raiders 40-6. culture looking good. He's supposed to try the game. But, you know, they say in sports, you know, you don't got to get ready if you stay ready. Here's Mark Sanchez drunk at midnight running wind sprints because they might have a backup quarterback problem in Indy one of these days. And next thing you know, he gets called up to be the third stringer and he's just staying ready. Meanwhile, this guy pulls up in a truck, just, hey, I'm here to clean out the grease. Not on my turf, buddy. And they get into a Jets vs. Sharks West Side Story shank-off fight with a knife, and it leads both of them to the hospital. It's just so dumb. And the last comment that the guy said is like, this should never have happened. Now, they say that life is a series of decisions and consequences. What the hell are you doing? Doing Irish car bombs and running wind sprints in the back of a hotel. What's going on here? What are you thinking?
It doesn't. I mean,
but it just goes to show that guy's face is cut off. You don't know what's going on with Mark Sanchez. I'll tell a quick story. This happens to do with drinking. I'm at Florida State. This is my sophomore year, and it's a Friday afternoon. And my buddy goes, I have some friends coming in town this weekend. We're gonna get pissed drunk. We're gonna have the time of our lives. All right, good. Have fun, buddy. This guy, his buddy shows up. I swear to God, this changed my life forever. Buddy shows up. He goes, what's up, man? Let's pound some beers. Starts drinking some beers. I'm not a big beer guy. I'm just watching him. Some girl walks in. She goes, some guy upstairs called me a bitch, and I don't think he goes, what? Let me show him what's up. This guy doesn't know anybody. He came to visit school for the weekend. He runs up to this guy's room, busts in the door. He goes, yo, did you call my friend a bitch? He walks in the door. The guy takes a beer bottle because he came in his room, smashes it on this guy's head. He doesn't know this guy. This guy's now has a gash from here to here because he wanted to be tough on a visit to Florida State. You don't know what you're going to get up into.
Nope.
And it just goes to show you do stupid things, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Mark Sanchez is playing stupid games in the back of a hotel alley running wind sprints, gets stabbed by a grease fry
But
cook.
did we hear any stories of him dealing with alcohol or drugs?
Never.
So
No,
I
but
don't
that's
know what
the point.
here.
Is that one stupid decision
Maybe
can change your
there's
life?
something but maybe
If it's
there's
one
something
stupid
we don't
decision,
know
great.
anything
But if
about.
it's something back there, then friends and family have an
So
opportunity.
Mark
to
Sanchez
That's right.
is known
I
for
agree.
the-
I think maybe there's something there. I don't know what that
Mark
is.
Sanchez is known for the butt fumble and now getting stabbed by a 69-year-old dude while he's doing wind
Did he
sprints
play
in
for
an alley.
USC or UCLA? He was a
USC guy.
USC, right?
Trojan.
He was somebody
Great
that
player.
people thought he was going to do
After
something.
Carlson Palmer, I want
Yeah.
to say.
All right, let's get to the next story here. Next story I want to get
Stud
to.
of a guy, though.
Next story I want to get to is what happened here with mayoral race in New York with Mamdani. So Chris Cuomo calls out and rips hypocrite Zohran Mamdani for owning Uganda land while championing abolition of private property. Rob, do you have that clip of Cuomo? So I don't know if there's a clip or not, but I think you either tweeted or there was a video of it if you want to find it. So Mamdani, who on the outside has a lot of ideologies. He says he's a democratic socialist, but he's got some words he uses that has to do with words that Karl Marx used in communism. But here's Chris Cuomo, socialist New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is a hypocrite for owning lucrative land in Uganda while cosplaying on the campaign trail as a working-class savior. Ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo told the Post, being a wealthy landowner with foreign investments while holding a rent-stabilized apartment in the tightest housing market in the nation is the height of hypocrisy, said Cuomo, who's running as an independent and polling second behind frontrunner Mamdani in the mayoral race. Zohran Mamdani can call himself a working-class champion all he wants, but it's just an act from an award-winning director's son. Working men and women don't live in mansions with armed guards and have family homes around the world. Oligarch sons do. Zohran Mamdani is a mansion boy living off family's wealth. I don't know, Rob, is there a clip of that or no?
No, I believe he told the Post this, so it was an interview.
Got it. So the 33-year-old Queens Assemblyman who has pushed for the abolition of private property reported in recent state and city financial disclosure filings that he owned a vacant land in Jinja, Uganda, valued at $100,000 to $250,000 since 2012. His high-flying parents, Columbia University professor Mahmoud Mamdani and Mansoon Wedding filmmaker Mira Nair, also own a breathtaking 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom villa in Uganda overlooking Lake Victoria that's been renting out an Airbnb for the last 8 years. So that's the property there?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the property. So, but you do have the, so while this is taking place, Tom, is there anything between now? Because what month is it?
We're now in October.
So what do they say happens in October? They call it a surprise. Today is the 5th. The election is exactly 4 weeks and 1 day from today. Okay? 4 weeks and 1 day because it's what? 4 weeks, Monday, 1 day, Tuesday,
Yes.
November 4th. That's what I think it falls on. Is there anything that can happen the next 4 weeks, Tom, for Mamdani to lose? Anything?
I don't think so. Short of Curtis, and I'm talking about the Republican
Curtis
candidate.
Sliwa.
Yep. And short of him dropping out and there being such a resurgence toward Cuomo, I mean, it's got to be big. You have to have a dropout, and you have to have more than a October surprise. You need an October nuclear surprise. And I think this is very telling. And this is where Chris Cuomo is being a news guy, doing research and on things, and then Andrew Cuomo, coming out and calling him out on these things. And there's things going on here that I think are just not enough. I just don't think it's going to get there, Pat. And Andrew Cuomo, in a related story, he actually apologized to people for COVID. So Cuomo is doing, Andrew that is doing everything he can to say, hey, I'm sorry, I really apologize for this, to and I think he was speaking specifically to Jewish New Yorkers, if I'm correct, Adam. He was speaking to that audience very specifically. And they're calling this guy out for being, a mansion boy who has got these thoughts, and this is what he wants to do, but he's really come from nothing. I don't think it's going to move it. Are we going to tighten up, Pat? Could it be 5 points or 7 points? I think it could, but I don't think he can get past that.
And Andrew Cuomo came out and apologized to the Jewish New Yorkers for COVID-19 lockdown. Rob, is this it?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
My friends, as we approach Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, we are reminded this is a time of reflection, of forgiveness, and of recommitting ourselves to do even better.
Of course.
That is true for all of us, and it's true for our leaders as well. During COVID, as governor, I made decisions with the best of intentions to protect health and save lives. However, I recognize that some of those decisions caused pain in the Jewish community because we did not always fully consider the sensitivities and traditions that are so deeply important. We could have done better, and for that, I am truly sorry. My intentions don't change the impact, and I sincerely ask for your understanding. On this holy day of atonement, I am committed to learning from these lessons. Today, Jewish New Yorkers face another challenge, the rise of anti-Semitism. It is real, it is dangerous, and it must be confronted. An attack on the Jewish community is an attack on every New Yorker because we are one family, the family of New York.
Yeah, right.
I stand with you.
Okay, you can pause.
100.
Adam, how do you feel about what he's saying?
Well, that was a nice little hostage reading script by Governor Cuomo. Now, as much as I
lack warmth, didn't it?
That's true, Tom. As much as I enjoy Chris
It
Cuomo,
lacked warmth. He was just reading from the table.
as much as I like Chris Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo is a dead man walking. I don't mean literally, guys. But they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. This is a very old political dog. And it's just very obvious. Reading this sort of like staged letter, I apologize to the Jewish community on the holiest day. Like, stop it. At the very least, learn something from what Mamdani's got going on. He's a charismatic young leader who's thriving on the social media world. And Andrew Cuomo is reading scripted letters still in 2025 when people want authenticity. Now, is Mamdani authentic? You better believe it. Does he want to authentically globalize the Intifada? Yes. Is he a democratic socialist? Yes. Is he secretly some sort of capitalist that owns property in Uganda as if that's like the Hamptons? Yeah, he's a social justice warrior, and he's going to win this election. I think the poly market odds are, 85% or so. Andrew Cuomo, thank you for serving your state, for your city, your country. Your time is done. You've about 30 more days of being relevant. Respect to you. The fact that you haven't done podcasts all over the country is a glaring weakness. It's like the Kamala Harris approach. What are you doing, bro? Can't wait for your book to come out. Yeah. Anyway, as far as what Mamdani stands for, it just all sounds great. But we've seen this a million times, whether it's Bernie or AOC,
Yeah, so here's what
and
I'll
now
say.
him.
So
He's got a math
Andrew
problem.
Cuomo
It's
said
not
he
realistic.
will take a endorsement from Eric Adams, but he will not take an endorsement from Donald Trump.
Why do you think that is?
So he just said that to Kristen Welker 3 days ago.
Mhm.
So here's the part. Like, that was the only chance he had.
Yep.
Because if Trump would have called in to say, New Yorkers, we got to get behind Andrew Cuomo, that is literally the last shot he had, and he gave that up. I don't know. And then when you watch a clip like this, look, there's, you know how you have the good guy, bad guy, like who's in your ear, right?
Yeah.
That's telling. There's one side that I'm like, oh, dude, I can't wait for Mamdani to win, for people to see what's going to happen, how shitty this is going to be, right? And then the other side of me is like, I freaking love New York. We go to New York. We're hoping to go to Yankees game, but listen, I have to tell you, I don't know. The last time I had this much animosity towards Canadians was Pierre Poilievre. I haven't been this upset towards Canadians since Pierre Poilievre. And Pierre Poilievre, who won the worst candidates ever, who was talented, apple-eating candidate, who was a great speaker, but was lazy, too pompous, arrogant to go sit down and talk to the regular, average, day-to-day people he didn't want to do because he thought he was better than you.
He disappeared.
And so Toronto decides to play the Yankees and do what they do. Toronto, I don't like you right now. And Vladimir Guerrero, screw you with your grand slam home run you put up there going 6 for 7.
I think Adam made a great
lights
point.
out. Tom, I'm sorry, Tom. I don't appreciate you interrupting me.
Sorry.
Tom.
I don't like what happened.
Tom
with
the
Toronto.
interrupter.
And I'm not happy with what happened there, Tom. As good of a point as he made, I'm moving on to the next story.
That's true,
Okay,
man.
next story that we need to get to is, I don't know whether I go to this one or to this one. Both of them are good stories. Which one should I go to?
Go to
Rob,
that one.
Did you have the one with the viewership? Is that what you had, Rob?
Yes, I just sent you something as well.
Okay, let me see. Oh, is that the one we're talking about?
Yep.
Okay, I love it. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go through this. So check this out, folks. Some very, very interesting data that will surprise you. But hang tight, because after I give you this interesting data, there's a small media company that not a lot of people are paying attention to, that, you know, but the people in media space kind of know. I want to share with you what happened with them. Watch this. Fox News dominates news brands.
Bingo.
With 1.1 billion YouTube views during Q3. And everybody in the marketplace is talking about it, okay? Everybody's talking about this, what Fox News did. Everybody club getting tipsy. But so, right? So,
everybody in the club.
So let's read this. Let's read the story if I can find the right page and I can read it to you. So here we are. All right. So number one brand on YouTube with more than 1 billion video views. Fox Now News led the runner-up MSNBC by 200 million views. Videos shown also topped NBC News, ABC News, CBS News combined. Damn. During the news-heavy third quarter, Fox News grew 45% compared to last year to pile up 1.1 billion views. Video compared to 848 to MSNBC, 627 to CNN, 424 to NBC, and 359 for ABC, and 163 for CBS, according to Amplify. It was the fourth consecutive quarter that Fox News surpassed all news brands. Fox News finished the quarter strong with 408 million views. Just a shellacking is the way to put it. I don't even know if that word is a proper word here or not. We're dealing with a limited amount of vocabulary, but I think shellacking would be appropriate, Vinny.
It's a good word. That's actually a really strong word.
So if you look at this, though, Tom, there is a small media company. And by the way, folks, can you do me a favor? If you guys love the way Tom's been dressing up lately, this is brought to you by Stefano Ricci. Tom is looking so good that every day we're done with the podcast, there's 10 girls waiting for him that are former
throwing
foremen,
themselves.
Foreman women that were working on projects of general contractors.
Jumping on his car.
They're saying,
Mike has to hold him back.
Busy Doc. But anyways, go back to the story.
Busy
Watch
Doc.
this. Watch this here. So the numbers, there's a small media company, a small little media company that is competing with some of these other guys. And watch what these guys are putting up, Rob. Can you pull up this other number here? Because we at Valuetainment also had a record-breaking quarter.
Weird.
Okay, on YouTube alone. Look at that right there. Okay, so Fox was 1.1 billion, MSNBC was 848 million, VT and PBD podcast 692 million. By the way, if we put VT comedy, we're number one. Okay,
That's what I was just
But
gonna
we'll
say.
separate the
Okay,
comedy.
all right, we'll separate.
Because Vinny alone with comedy probably destroyed a couple of these guys as well himself. But watch this. VT and PBD podcast.
Wow.
We beat CNN by 70 million views. Damn. 65 million views. NBC 424, ABC 359, and CBS, we nearly 5x CBS. Think about it.
If you really think about that, is insane.
Yeah.
Look, we're just stuck there in the little middle.
YouTube,
Right
okay?
there.
You're talking about YouTube, okay? 692 million views, and we just wanted to say thank you because it wouldn't happen without you, and thanks to the whole team that's working. But by the way, folks, you have to realize, when I tell you we're just getting started, I'm literally telling you we're just getting started. FYI, if you guys have anybody, Tom and I are going to be doing one segment per week of the 3 podcasts that we're doing per week. One of them, we're thinking about making it business only. If you have anybody that you know on the business side, we would like to bring a big name with us to talk business stories on a weekly basis, because next year, the Vault, we're holding it at MGM Grand Arena. I was just in Las Vegas a few days ago, coming back, and we have a big vision of what we want to do with Vault Conference by 2030. If there's anyone you have that's a business content creator, let us know. We're interested. We're hiring talent right now, left and right. Her Take, Rob, you know the Her Take link, if you can put it below as well. We are hiring right now aggressively. We're looking for strong talent. If you know anybody, tell us about it. We are definitely looking for some good people. All right.
You know, if I was running a political campaign and maybe I was behind and I saw a chart like this, oh, never mind. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, so Tom, that takes me to the next story, which is a very interesting story that I'm sure you want to talk about. PornHub suffers 50% drop in UK traffic after age restriction added. I warned them.
Such a good transition.
We're talking about viewership, and I think viewership. While people are watching more Fox News and MSNBC and VT, people are watching fewer porn in UK. Now that could be the reason for the crime. Some people are speculating, but who knows what's going on here. So let me read this to you. Online traffic for pornography has plummeted in the UK after new age verification laws were put in place over the summer. Since July 25th, porn users, to all the public porn users in England, Scotland, and Wales, as well, let's not forget about Northern Ireland, must prove they are 18 or older by uploading identity documents, credit card information, or selfie that uses facial recognition technology to guess their age. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You're about to watch porn. You're like, all right, I'm 22 years old.
Oh my gosh.
PornHub, the most visited adult website in the world, suffered a staggering 50% plummet. I thought it was going to be 90%, to be honest with you. I said 50 to 90. This is the exact idea I was proposing. And the PornHub owners were not okay about it. And I said, PornHub, it's like 50% or more than 1 million visitors, according to the Australian Broadcasting Company. Hannah Swirsky, the head of policy and public affairs at the Internet Watch Foundation, a nonprofit that works to eradicate child sexual exploitation online, told the outlet that the regulators have been effective. The regulators have been very clear that self-declaration, so just ticking a box to say that you're above 18 is not a highly effective form of age assurance. She said children were often raising the issue of involuntarily seeing harmful content, such as pornography, online, and this also makes a lot harder. They're talking about like difficulty. It's a bad word. Such as pornography online, that it also makes it a lot difficult. I'm just changing the word if you are trying to seek this material out. So, by the way, because of this, Playboy magazine and old Hustler magazines are on fire in UK right now. It's eBay. People are buying. People are buying and selling them. But let me tell you, I don't know if we can find the clip or not. This is exactly when I talked to the PornHub owners that came in, the rabbi. You remember when I was having that conversation with the guy?
He's a rabbi?
Yes.
Yeah. So when I had the guy on and I said, why don't you guys require people to put IDs? If you're telling me, because the question I was asking is, how do you know the porn stars in these movies, in these videos, are over 18? Well, we know because of XYZ. Why don't you just ID all of them? No, we can't do that because XYZ. So this is the problem with this, Tom. When you look at this here as an expert yourself, you're watching data, viewership that comes in. What do you say about the story?
Well, first of all, this is this is finally coming to the internet what had been in place in other ways. You know, kids would go to 7-Eleven or whatever, try to buy Playboy. If you weren't 18, they wouldn't let you buy it, right? And you wouldn't let you get that. And the internet just gave everybody access to it. And this is why parents have been, you know, really freaking out, especially when Facebook was caught doing deliberate manipulations to put certain content in front of young girls. And parents were saying, and that wasn't pornographic content, that was comparative content. And girls were feeling very depressed about their image. They don't get as much likes. And that was leading to documentation about teenage suicides. So what happens online is not good. There's a lot of things that are not good. And one of the things people have been talking about, and Florida did it. Florida has an age requirement. If you're trying to log in Florida, I don't know how they do it. If it senses that you're at an IP address, it's in Florida zip code, I suppose. You're not supposed to be allowed to see certain things in Florida. And I think that PornHub is now seen in the UK, and the UK has said, okay, enough of this. We want the age restriction in place. Here's how we're going to find out if you're viewing it from the UK, and you have to do all this. And you tell me a 19-year-old kid is not going to take a selfie, upload his driver's license and a credit card.
Yeah.
Later, information that can be hacked. So somebody hacks the porn site later and has all this customer information and then publishes a list of who's who and what you like watching. No one's going to do that. So it has an effect of having a positive effect, taking the underage viewership away, at least we hope, you know, and I think they're discovering that when you're trying to, you know, put some big marketing thrust to increase your sales and penetrate the youth market, and you're unsuccessful, you're going to see your sales go down, and you're going to take it.
Because I'm sorry, because I have to take a step back. The owner of PornHub is a rabbi, and who's the girl next to him that I saw rocking a cross on her chest? Who is that?
Wait,
she works.
You never watched this interview?
I didn't.
It's one
She's
of the
a nun.
best ones. No, she's not a nun.
No, but I'm just curious. In the Jewish,
and then there's the imam right there that's
Adam,
running the town.
Hold on, I'm curious. I'm dead serious. Is that cool for a rabbi to own
not
porn?
for me?
No, I'm just saying in general.
This is the owner. This is who we had.
Solomon. What?
He's the owner. Yeah.
He's a lawyer.
I swear to you, I had no idea. I didn't know rabbis. I swear to you,
you've never seen this interview.
Criminal lawyer.
Okay, you have to watch.
I'm going to, number one, but number two, a rabbi is a religious guy.
Well,
and he's a lawyer.
you have to. And no, but hang on a second. I asked him all those questions. You should go watch it.
I swear to you, I want to watch it.
You should go watch. It's actually such an interesting interview.
Okay, and who's the girl sitting next to him?
The girl is somebody that's been with him for many, many years.
Okay.
When I bought it, when I watched it, they had just bought it. It's not like they've owned it for 15 years.
Got you. Yeah.
They had just bought it, and they, the company was going through challenges. They saw this as an opportunity to clean it up. And be able to, so they added new technology to it. Yeah, Rob, but do you remember some of the stuff that I said in the conversation with this guy? Did you find it or no?
This is crazy.
I think I found a portion. Hang on one second.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
So a lawyer
I can't believe
owns it, and then he's got Rabbi Beg Booty,
this interview.
you know, on his staff.
You're gonna love this interview.
And she's by the way, I'm not pointing. I'm just pointing out. And she's wearing a cross on her neck.
That made it very uncomfortable.
That's weird, bro.
I said, you know what I asked? I said, is your goal to get people to stop making porn? I said, your goal isn't for people to make porn, right? You want people to stop making porn and go have normal lives. Well, no, we think this is actually an honorable profession. That's when they lost me. I said, wait a minute. If they're on, are you guys helping people to stop making porn? That was the question.
Yes.
Rob, play the clip. While the video is being shot, there needs to be someone saying, before we do this scene, this is what it is. I am at this age. We're shooting it at this age. Here's how old I am. And here's how old he is. I am 22 years old. He is 24 years old. I'm 21 years old. He's 19 years old. This is what's about to happen. Then you could say, yes, 100% we know. And then you have to see, is that ID being verified on an ID website to be able to, the ability to check. So now let's go back to the other question. What is the business model of PornHub? I don't know what the business model of Pornhub. How do you guys make money?
It's an ad-supported platform primarily.
So it's not a membership. It's an ad-supported.
That's right. So ALO as a company, we have PornHub that's ad-supported, and then we have subscription-based sites like
we can
browsers.
stop already. I mean,
that cross is burning on her chest.
It's worth watching.
I promise you,
seriously is worth watching.
Oh my God!
To learn more about. I was so curious about this, and we had another one. We had Layla Mickelwaite, who's the lawyer that sued them.
Yeah.
Do you know about Layla Mickleway?
The pretty girl.
Yeah,
I
Layla
remember somebody
Mickleway.
that was pretty.
In the middle of the podcast, Rob thought it was a good idea to go to Pornhub.com.
Oh,
That's
great.
right. Yeah,
That's
Rob
my
was doing
boy.
quote unquote
That's my boy.
research.
No, it's actually dead serious.
He went on the.
It wasn't his idea. I said, no, you can go to. You're not going to get in trouble. So he goes to Pornhub.com, and I'm like, did you know on the homepage there's everything? I thought there's like a disclosure before you go.
No,
They
I
just jump
definitely
right in.
didn't know that, Pat.
Yeah, they just jump right in.
Rob was doing his due diligence.
Anyways,
Well,
all right.
The regarding this porn and what they're doing, I actually think it's I'm okay with the UK doing this. I mean, as much as they're curbing free speech in the UK,
I actually love that they're doing it.
Curbing access to PornHub. So here's some stats for you. The most likely to watch porn are 18 to 34-year-old men. They're 2.5 times more likely to watch porn than women. Apparently, there's a sharp decline after age 55, but you still might make jokes. The internet, in my opinion, should be 18 plus, because
Internet
if you
in
need
general.
to be 18 to buy a pack of cigarettes or 21 to drink, I would argue that the things you can see on the internet and the things you can experience on social media are way worse. Way worse. Talk about hiding kids from harmful content. Look, back in the day, we all remember being a 14-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, what you would do to get a Playboy magazine. Let's not all get it twisted. I mean, I know young men that would cut off their left arm, definitely not their right arm, definitely not their right arm, unless they had ambidextrous tendencies, to get a Playboy. Now you can go on the internet and watch anything you'd ever wanted in the world. This is very challenging for young people. If I had kids that were 13 plus, 18, under 18, I'd be very, very cautious with letting them anywhere near the internet.
Pretty wild.
So it's a safety matter.
FYI, good for UK. We talk a lot of crap about UK with how they handle a lot of different things, immigration. Good for you for doing this right. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like, by the way, it kind of does make sense for UK, though, because of the increased level of Muslims in UK. Maybe they would support for these levels of measures to go in for there not to be porn available for people under the age of 18.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Because culturally, that's no good.
No. That's no good for them. But look, there's a lot of angles I could go right now. I'll
go for it, Pat.
Let's just make this. Let's just make this about this right now, and we'll go on to some of the other stories. All right. Next story I want to get into. French influencer, folks. This is one of the darkest stories I've seen in a long time. And, normally we'll say this person's doing dumb things. I don't know if you put anything above this. So this is a guy that's an influencer in France going around with a needle shooting people up. What? And there's
no, he's dead serious.
By the way, so let me just read the story to you.
I'm not here. Okay.
French influencer Amin Mojito, decent last name, sentenced to prison after terrifying syringe pranks videos. What? Okay. So I see this. I'm like, there's no way this is real. French influencer, real name is Ilan M, was recently sentenced to jail following outrage and fear that was generated in France from his syringe prank videos. The Paris Criminal Court made the ruling on Friday, October 3rd, and sentenced the 27-year-old to 12 months in prison, of which 6 months shall be served in custody and the rest suspended. Mojito was also fined $1,500 and prohibited from possessing or carrying a gun for 3 years. This prankster went viral when he posted clips where he spoofed injecting bystanders with empty syringes on Parisian street. They went viral just days before the county's Fête de Musique, World Music Day in June, when France was on edge enough due to unfounded rumors of attack involving needles at festivals and student parties. By the way, earmuffs, if you can't watch stuff like this, don't do it. I'm giving you the warning. But here's the clip. Go ahead, Rob. Look what he does, Adam.
Look. But he's stabbing you, bro. Look at that. What's going in your mind? I was just stabbed. Look. Look at what the... Bro. Look, what the, bro? Look, like.
Oh my God,
bro!
Bro, this guy deserves every ass whooping he could possibly get.
I honestly don't think the amount of crime he got is not enough.
Oh, I fully agree with you.
I think 12 months is nothing. I think this is like.
Oh, whoop his ass. Whoop his ass, dude.
Dude, what is wrong with this guy?
Like, bro.
This guy's neck, dude. Are you kidding me?
What the fuck? What the fuck? Like in your head, you're like, what do I? What did he give me? AIDS? Remember that guy that was running around putting HIV into people? Can I be dead serious with you? I would have.
Blood pressure's gone up.
I'm telling you right now, I would have shot him. He's lucky he's doing it there where nobody has a gun.
What did you just say?
I would have shot him dead.
What if he does this in Texas?
No.
Oh, bro, this
Let me
guy's
explain something to you. When it comes to my
one
life
of those
and my
10 people is going to draw down.
Done time
I
for
would
it.
have won. Listen, put all the. I still practicing Christian. He's trying to kill me because I don't know what the hell's in there.
No,
HIV,
exactly.
whatever the hell, bro. Poison. I'm going to.
All he got is 12 months.
Oh,
how about
dude.
this? The guy that's in on it with him recording, he should be in jail too.
And the judge called him
you're an
a
accomplice.
public menace. A public menace, the judge said.
Just for anybody out there that's armed. Rob, I'm really curious. Rob, can we ask our audience, Pat, just a regular concealed or open carry now in Florida carrying. If a guy with a mask is approaching you with a syringe to hit you, are you going to shoot him?
I don't think. Look, we're not inside.
No, I'm not. No.
We're not recommending.
No,
this.
I'm not.
Let me ask the
But if he
question
had done
this
it in
way.
Florida, what are
This
the odds
is a better
of
way of
1 out of
asking the
10?
question. What would you do if somebody did this
Rob,
to you?
do that.
Okay?
What would you do?
You're with your girl. You're with your wife. You're with your kids. Somebody comes and puts a needle in your wife's arms.
Oh
What do
my
you do?
God! Or your kid.
I don't even want. I can't even tell you where my mind is going.
Crazy that he's doing that.
Let me tell you.
And
this
you're
guy
right. Jail's-
deserves every ass whooping he could have possibly
my
gotten.
God.
You notice he didn't do it to any big, strong, tough, masculine dudes. It was always like women or like old guys sitting down. Any
One big guy
reasonable
was at the
dude
bench and they was had
would try to hunt this guy down. But it just goes to show this whole get rich quick, go viral quick
Fame,
sort of
quick
lifestyle
fame.
thing.
It's
it's this clickbait attention eyeball mentality. It has this very deep dark side. Like you've seen pranks where like we've talked about this guy. The guy goes and he's like, "What's up, Sage? You got a problem?" And he's like joking with these guys. Then he gets his ass whooped, or maybe he gets almost
Armenian
like.
guy.
So like some people take these pranks way too far. In my opinion, they set a horrible precedent with this. He had to pay £1,500.
Oh, wow.
And €1,500, and he's only getting 6 to 12 months in jail. This guy's gonna come out of jail and do this crap again.
100%.
Because this is what he's
you were
known
making
for.
an important point.
This guy needs
where-
to be shamed and condemned and set an example.
Bro, if that happened
But
to
you're
me,
making an important point about likes and pranks. You know, in that it's a slippery slope because, Adam, you're right. Each prank has got to be bigger and weirder and odder than the next one to get even more likes. And you go down a slippery slope till you have a guy that's actually doing this.
Yep.
Whereas if he was in a place like Texas or Florida where a lot of people carry, all you need is 1 out of 10 to draw down and flinch. That's all you need. And I don't wish that on him, but I'm just saying the consequences of just freaking people out.
You know where this takes me? By the way, comment section, you guys are unbelievably funny, what people are saying, even though this is not a funny topic. Rob, do you remember when Suge Knight comes out of jail, okay? And he goes on Kimmel. Okay, have you seen this? And what he says, don't say anything. I want to see if they haven't seen it, I want them to, have you ever seen this? Okay? Let me show this
I've
to you.
definitely not watched Kimmel, so that's probably why.
So, but this is, we're talking about 15 years ago, okay? So he's
Certainly
on.
not then.
He goes on Jimmy Kimmel. That's it, Rob. Good for you. There you go. Watch this. Go ahead.
Right. Why the bulletproof vest? Oh, it's not. Oh, no, that's just, it's in the style. You've been in the can for a while.
Listen.
That's what all the talk show hosts are wearing.
This is a new thing, right?
Yeah.
See, if somebody gonna do something about it, see, technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff they get blood from somebody with AIDS, and then they shoot you with it.
Oh,
so
well,
the
that
death
seems
don't happen.
bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An easy thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said that?
You've never seen this?
An Easy-E thing? Like,
the Easy-E
I didn't want
thing.
to say that
oh,
loud.
he even had it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
The
Whoa.
Easy-E thing. Because
Meaning
Easy
somebody
died
got
from
it and
AIDS.
boom.
Died of AIDS,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kit Frost is telling a story of Easy's on the 8th floor of this hospital, which was the AIDS thing. People would only go on the 8th floor if it was AIDS. One of his girls was calling Kit Frost saying Easy's on the 8th floor. And Kit Frost tells this exact story and says there's a guy in hip-hop, they call him the devil. He says, the people who know this, they know who I'm talking about. It's a 7-minute clip.
Goodness.
I've had Kit Frost on a podcast before. We had him on 10 years ago.
And what's this devil
He's
guy
saying
do?
that
The
the
hip-hop
Suge is
devil?
the devil?
No. He's saying this guy
He's
goes
saying
around
Suge was
and-
the devil?
Yeah,
Oh.
Going around and just
so. Anyways, this
injecting
needle
people with
joke is
AIDS?
not a real. This is not a. This is
That's
a
not funny.
terrible
No,
joke
this
to
is
play.
stupid.
And the crime needs to be a much higher crime than what that guy got. That is just absolutely insane when you think about that. Anyways, let's get to the next story here. Back-to-back highs. August and September bring in $62.6 billion of revenue in tariffs. Okay, back-to-back. And with the $62.6 billion of tariffs that the U.S. government collected the last 2 months, the president is now floating an idea of handing out, well, I'll let him tell you. Go ahead, Rob.
Your tariffs are going to be over $1 trillion a year, in my opinion. We're going to do something. We're looking at something where, number one, we're paying down debt because people have allowed the debt to go crazy. But, you know, with growth, with the kind of growth we have now, the debt is very little, relatively speaking. You grow yourself out of that debt. It's not a question of paying it. You grow yourself out. And the numbers are so much bigger than they ever were. The numbers we have now are bigger than they ever were. So when you have $36 trillion in debt a year ago or 2 years ago, and you have a lot less revenue coming in, then you have 37 or 38. It's not 38 yet, but it will be. And the numbers are so much bigger. All of a sudden, 38, you're under-levered, whereas for 36, you were highly levered. We're not highly levered anymore. Now, with that being said, we'll pay back debt, but we also might make a distribution to the people, almost like a dividend to the people of America.
How much are you thinking for that, sir?
Well, we're thinking maybe $1,000 to $2,000. Be great.
Another.
Can you imagine $1,000 to $2,000, okay, to send out to people with the tariffs? So what happened to all the people that were screaming about the tariffs, Tom?
Yeah, I remember that.
Where are those guys?
Yeah.
Where did they go?
I was on certain podcasts.
Now, don't get me wrong. Some prices are up.
Okay.
Because of tariffs. It's not like some industries are not taking a hit. I'm trying to buy a watch, and the guy is saying, Pat, it's a very well-known brand. People know what the brand is. So he's going back and forth, and I'm buying directly from them. And he says, the reason why this watch is not here yet is they're waiting for the tariffs to change in the next few months before they ship it out, because right now the tariffs are very high on this. So some industries are definitely taking a hit on tariffs. There's no question about it. But the reality of it is, you know what people are realizing? Every once in a while when you change the comp plan and your sales team at first is like, I don't know if this is going to be real. I don't know if it's going to be permanent. It's probably just a temporary comp plan. Sometimes it takes 3, 6, 12 months for people to realize this thing is here to stay.
Yeah.
I better make some adjustments. They want my quality of business to improve. So I think that's what they're doing. It's obvious now. It's not going away. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Vinny, let's do some math, but make it.
Oh, damn it, Tom.
No.
Like, I was having such a great Monday morning.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Why is there a tariff? Because stuff's coming from over there to over here.
Oh, no.
So we've got
You've
tariffs
already lost
on it,
Vinny,
right?
Tom.
So
Go.
they have to pay tariffs to go to the government.
Yeah.
So you are a manufacturer. So you don't want to make it over there anymore because it gets tariff coming over here and then you sell it to Americans.
Yeah.
So what if you start making it over here?
Okay.
Who do you need to help you make it?
America.
Americans.
Yeah, of
because you
course.
give them jobs.
I did good.
And guess what?
Good.
The tariff money goes down because you're no longer making them over there and paying a tariff over here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people over here called American workers
Have jobs.
or have jobs,
Paying
and they're paying taxes to the government.
Yes.
So now the government gets the money that way.
Yeah.
So tariffs is a way to pull jobs back over here. And as Pat said, there's an adjustment. So you don't have to do the math. You can just do the steps.
Thank God. I
You
love
say, we're
steps.
collecting tariff now. And so if Americans really want that product, that product, that product, that product, and there's a tariff on it, that's going to be built into the price.
Mm-hmm.
However, over long term, Vinny, the business owner, says, maybe I should figure out a way to make it over here, and I'll employ American workers, and I'll make it over here. and you'll select areas where you could pay a certain wage because housing is a certain price. And so it creates this effect, this incentive. And that's what Pat's talking about. You put together a compensation plan, and all of a sudden your salespeople go, oh, wait a minute. If I sell these products, I get a little bit better commission than selling these products. Well, guess what? Then I'm going to get good at presenting and talking to customers and selling these products. That's how it works. And so what's happening here is phase one is working. And then phase two is how many American companies want to figure out how to put the jobs over here. It won't always be easy. Real estate may be expensive. It's expensive to build, and you get worker wages and everything over here that we should pay so people can live. Yeah, that's correct. But work your way out of it and bring those jobs back home. And that is exactly what the president's doing. And it's having a success to the point where now he's looking at it and saying, you know what? The tariffs have worked so well. What if I give everybody $1,000, $2,000 tariff benefit, whether it's on your taxes or some other way? Guess what? He's not printing money like Biden says, hey, sorry, COVID has messed up your life. Here's $1,400. He's saying, hey, we're changing the playing field for America. Here's a little sugar.
They can't do that, Tom. I just did the math, because if they give $2,000, how many working people do you think he has to give it to?
I think I didn't see it, but I'm not assuming it's population.
People?
I'm assuming it's like tax-paying unit or households.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
So how many households would it be?
Probably barely a 110, 115.
115 million.
I think.
Do you know that's $200 billion? So he can't make these types of promises if he can't deliver. To send $1,000, $2,000, that's a 200. You do $2,000.
Yeah, the math has to work. Otherwise,
you're
Joe Biden.
No, the math doesn't work. So if you do $2,000 times 100 and, okay, he's got 132 million households here. 2,000 times 132 million households. You're looking at $264 billion. That's the first year revenue of tariffs is gone. I don't think it's a good idea. And I think if they were going to send it to anybody, I think you have to be selective on who you send it to. Or you just don't do it. Yeah, we can't afford to send $260 billion. Adam, do you have any thoughts on this story?
Yeah, well, it reminds me of the story that the time where you actually, during the Trump tax cuts, when you rewarded employees, I think you said for every month that you were with me, you're going to give them
$100.
$100. Yep. So some people ended up getting thousands of dollars, I would assume. So you definitely want to reward loyalty. You definitely want to reward people who are on your side. You actually also want to reward people for staying the course on, sort of going with you. At the same time, they do have a math problem. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how this is going to help inflation. I don't know how this is going to help our debt. I don't understand how that's going to work. But I do like the idea of rewarding people who have been with you. But I will give Trump credit. The numbers just came out. This was the end of September, where they said the U.S. GDP expanded at a strong 3.8% pace in the second quarter. And that was revised because they actually predicted it'd be closer to 3.3%. So it was actually 3.8, which is almost 4. They thought it would be 3.3, which is closer to 3. And if you know anything about dynamic growth in our country, average GDP annualized is somewhere between 2 and 3%, meaning we're doing good in America in the second quarter. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the year. But for all the people that were like after, what was it? Independence Day, not Independence Day. What did Trump call it when it's going to be the certain day where Liberation Day. Liberation Day. Everyone was like, oh my God, the tariffs. What's going to happen? Turns out we're taking in money. Turns out that inflation has not risen. It turns out that employment is doing okay. Turns out the Fed has cut rates. Turns out that Trump was right about everything.
All right, let's get to the next thing here. All right, Bad Bunny, folks. I know you guys got a few months left to learn how to speak Spanish. That's what he's telling you. Rob, can we play those clips or no? I don't know.
We can play the Bad Bunny one.
So Bad Bunny trolls MAGA critics of his Super Bowl halftime show while hosting Saturday Night Live. And he took a shot at Fox News. And you have to hear what he had to say at Fox News. But Bad Bunny mocked his critics with Fox News. I'll just let you watch the clip and we'll react to it. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm very excited to be doing the Super Bowl, and I know that people all around the world who love my music are also happy, especialmente todos los latinos.
Those people are just randomly in the audience, by the way. It's random.
Las latinas en el mundo entero y aquí en los Estados Unidos, todas las personas que han trabajado para abrir puertas, más que un logro mío.
So for my people here in America that are working hard, doing their thing.
Más que un logro mío, es un logro de todos, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar.
I want a burrito so bad right now. I'm so hungry.
I'm hungry. If you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn. We have a great show for you tonight. Doja Cat is here. So stick around.
Just so you guys know, I don't know if you've ever been to SNL. There's applause signs. So every time the audience is cheering when he's speaking Spanish, they're being cued by the staff at SNL to cheer. It's not like those people actually understood what Bad Bunny was saying. Maybe some of them did, but they're being cued to cheer by the people at SNL.
And they are usually warmed up by local comics that come on and do 3 minutes each, give or take. And sometimes members of their own cast will come out. I don't know if our friend who's been on here from Miami has done it, but they usually get them really warmed up before they go out. So
Adam, thoughts?
So what is exactly the problem with Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl? I want to understand this so I can fully embrace what the argument is the fact that he's not quote unquote American, he's Puerto Rican, is the fact that he doesn't love Trump? Like, what's the criticism?
Have you heard what he said or no?
I want to know what is it that's triggering people.
Yeah,
I've heard comments.
What
he's
have
made.
you heard? What have you heard about the comments he's made? What have you heard about comments he's made that's upset conservatives?
So that's what I'm asking for clarification on. I've heard comments, but nothing has been so radical that I'm like, oh my God, cancel him from the Super Bowl.
Such as what? What have you heard?
So why don't you tell me some of the comments that...
But you're asking a question. This is your story, so you circled it. So don't... If you're circling that's your story, don't start off with a question. Make the comment.
No, sir.
What comment do you have on this? Okay. Because this is your story.
So what I'm asking is, why are people so upset by this? Let's just get first things first.
Go for it.
Do I condone everything he said ever about ICE and Trump? No. But at the same time, I can acknowledge this is one of the biggest musical artists in the world, period. Okay? And that doesn't mean he should be excused from saying horrible things. But let's be very careful cancel culturing people because you don't like what they have to say. So let's not forget the NFL, because he's going to potentially be performing at the Super Bowl. This is a global brand. If you've noticed anything about the NFL games they've had this season, Mexico, Germany, London, they're trying to expand their brand, and they would love to expand it into Latin America. So they can start playing football and play American football. So whether it's the World Cup, whether it's the Olympics, these are global brands. So to say that you don't want a global superstar who's dating, by the way, one of the Jenner chicks, Kendall Jenner, because he said some not favorable things about Trump, I think is a little feckless. Now, am I an advocate of someone that talks shit about America? Hell no. But I'm not going to cancel somebody because you don't agree with their opinion. That's un-American to me. So if there's something that he's said that I'm unaware of that is completely uncalled for, I'd love to hear it. But critiquing ICE and critiquing Trump is not grounds for firing someone from the Super Bowl.
Not for firing, but Adam, you look at your audience. Who is watching football?
The world.
Okay. No, it's Americans. Americans. As if Bud Light didn't get the message. Like, let's just think about this. Why would you take something like Bud Light and put gay beyond gayness, Dylan Mulvaney, meaning Bud Light as a company, they listen to one person in there.
Are you saying Bad Bunny is the equivalent of Dylan Mulvaney?
No. What I'm saying is, well, by the way, if you've been following, Bad Bunny used to be dope. He got into Hollywood. Now he's wearing dresses all the time.
Oh, you know who else did that in Hollywood? Every dude ever. That's Hollywood.
No, by the way, and doing satanic worshiping videos. And guess what?
I'm with you.
And then guess what? And that's what you're going to be.
But that's Hollywood.
But the Super Bowl halftime show is supposed to be entertainment, and this is supposed to be. But by the way, football is an American sport. You're gonna bring a guy that's basically telling America. I'm just saying it from an advertising point of view. Yo, y'all, you guys better learn Spanish in 4 months because that's how.
That's a joke. You're a comedian. He's on SNL.
No, Adam.
He's joking. He's not saying America.
Adam,
start learning Spanish.
Well, guess what?
It's a joke.
You think he's gonna be singing in English or in Spanish?
I think he's gonna be singing all his hits, which are in Spanish.
Okay, so guess what? So what I'm saying is, and by the way, did you know the stuff that he said about ICE and stuff and about
Tell
the
me
ICE
what he
people?
said. That's what I want to know.
And in Puerto Rico, he was talking crap about them. He said there was an issue like effing ICE could be outside my concert. He said strong criticism against them. They often he called ICE in Puerto Rico sons of bitches. Sorry for my language. And arrested people, most of Dominicans on the island and stuff. But Adam, my point being,
listen, all those words are fine, dude.
No,
people say that about Trump. People say that about
but
Biden.
You're asking me.
We believe in free speech here, don't we?
But and another angle, Adam. This is the NFL. These are the same people that have to have end racism and all this stuff. This is, to me, what of all the people that you could pick. Why Bad Bunny? I think this is also an FU to Donald Trump. An FU to Donald Trump
Rob,
doing our conservative movement.
Play this clip.
Okay.
Play this clip.
That's what it is.
A reation from Chicago One Ray. No, it's not Christina. It's actually somebody you would like to look at. And where she's talking about why she is not happy about Bad Bunny
Let's hear it.
performing at the Super Bowl. Rob, if you got the clip, please go ahead and play it. And let's see what you have to say. Go ahead, Rob.
So the NFL picked Bad Bunny for the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. But let me be so real. I had never even heard of him. I thought Bad Bunny...
So she's automatically...
Stop.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Maybe some type of influencer. But it turns out he is actually a Trump-hating, anti-ICE activist who doesn't even sing in English. But look at him. We know why they picked him, right? Here's a fact. He refused to tour America because he said ICE might be outside of one of his concerts. And that's who the NFL thinks should represent America's biggest stage. Hey NFL, do you even know your audience? Your fans love God, country, and football, not open borders and woke politics. You could have picked anyone to bring people together, but you went with someone who openly trashes conservatives and mocks the values of your core fans. This is a middle finger to every American who still believes in faith, family, and freedom. Okay. So congrats, NFL. You just turned the Super Bowl halftime show into a political protest yet again.
Adam, go ahead.
Well, I mean, if I'm her and I'm probably have her audience and beautiful girl, she's doing identity politics 101. The fact that she goes, I've never even heard of Bad Bunny, you're disqualified, sweetheart. That's like someone saying, what? We're having a Beyonce perform? I've never even heard of this person. He's the biggest Latino artist in the world. And the fact that you don't know who that is testament to the fact that maybe you're living in some sort of a bubble.
My mom doesn't
and
know
I
who
fully agree that he should not make those comments. I fully agree that you should be pro-American. But at the same time,
do you think
by the end of the video, she sounded pretty well researched.
The fact that she didn't know who Bad Bunny was.
Let me ask the question.
She's disqualified.
Let me ask the question in a different way. Maybe let me ask the question in a different way, because she's wrong. Bad Bunny is massive, not a little bit massive. Rob, can you just go on YouTube and type in Bad Bunny and then go to search for views, Bad Bunny, and then go to filter and go to views and look how many views his biggest hits have gotten. Okay, zoom in a little bit, 3.5 billion. No, zoom in a little bit, Rob. 2.4 billion. Go to the next one, 1.6 billion. Go to the next 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion with Drake. 1.4 billion. Go to the next 1.3. So,
and this chick's never heard of him.
No. And look, Dylan listens to Bad Bunny. Is when he, since we were in Dallas, he would listen to Bad Bunny. But this guy's everywhere. That's not the point. The point is the following. I think the NFL had an opportunity, Adam. That's the main thing for me. I think the NFL had an opportunity for this year's halftime to actually speak to God, country, America, football. That's what people are saying. For me, it would have been with what just happened with Charlie Kirk. Can you imagine if the NFL brought a country singer, okay? Brought a Morgan Wallen, brought a person like that. What would happen if we would have done that? It would have been pretty epic. I think timing is the key to me. When it comes down to who they've had in the past, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. A couple of years ago when they had Snoop, 50 Cent,
the history
Dre.
of hip hop. They did the whole
history
thing.
of hip. I actually like that one when they did history of hip hop, and people were complaining about that one, but I like that one. I like when they did that.
Dope.
Yeah. So to me, I get her argument. I get your argument. I simply saw this as an opportunity for them to have somebody else come in, but it makes sense to me. Tom, do you have anything to say about this here?
Nothing different. I agree with you.
Okay.
Did you see what Chrissy Noem had to say?
What?
Chrissy Noem said the fact that the NFL won't be able to sleep at night over the Bad Bunny Super Bowl performance. This is just like fake outrage.
It?
Is this it right here?
You see it?
And your message to the NFL with this decision? It seems like they were trying to send a message to the Trump administration.
Well, they suck, and we'll win, and God will bless us, and we'll stand and be proud of ourselves at the end of the day, and they won't be able to sleep at night because they don't know what they believe, and they're so weak. We'll fix it.
Thank you.
Pause it right there.
Thank you, madam.
Is that Benny?
There's Benny.
Well, 2 million subscribers,
look,
Benny.
Well,
But no. But let me tell you, like that right there to me is I think that was a weak argument to say what they said. They'll lose and we'll win and all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not where
it's
I'm
just
at.
identity politics 101. Look, they're saying that they're going to bring ICE to the Super Bowl because there's going to be illegal. Listen,
Well, because
do you know what
because
the
of what he
average
said.
price ticket for a Super Bowl is?
Thousands.
Average $5,000. Corporations come in there, big brands, they buy the whole place out. To pretend that some random Mexican guy's like, hey, it's time to go to the Super Bowl. That's not happening, dog. It's the biggest, best, highest ticket around in the world stage. And you're acting like it's going to be some like La Migra ICE situation. By the way,
But they're being
there's
funny back.
zero,
They're being funny back.
zero case examples of the Super Bowl bringing anybody from the right. The Morgan Wallens of the world, the Jason Aldeans, zero. Here are the last performers of the Super Bowl. You tell me if any of these people happen to be on the right. Kendrick Lamar was last year. You have Usher, Weeknd, Shakira, J-Lo, Maroon 5, Justin Timberlake, Lady Gaga, Snoop, Drake,
it's all
Rihanna.
Hollywood.
And it's
No.
all left.
No, it's all left.
So the fact they're like, yeah, we're doing Bad Bunny, it's like, yeah, that actually makes complete sense based on the last 10 years
missed
of
the
Coldplay and
entire
Beyonce.
point I just made. You missed the entire point I just made. What happened, Rob?
He missed the entire point.
No,
You
I
missed
heard your point.
No, you didn't. But it's okay.
You're saying, hey, bring us a country
Yeah.
music artist.
No,
because that's what Red America
No,
wants
no,
right now.
that's not what I
and
said.
the NFL is basically
No.
saying, no, we care about our money and our bottom line,
Adam.
and we want the most famous person in the
Yeah.
world.
Well, listen, and
But maybe
and that's why you are Adam Sosnick.
That's true, baby.
Okay, and that is why you're Adam Sosnick.
I'll
and,
take it.
You know,
One of one.
every 2, 3, 4, one-on-one who Brandon whooped your ass last Wednesday when he was on, and he had 48,000 live streamers.
Yeah, Brandon
and,
had it. That's right.
Brandon crushed it that day. Yes,
I'm proud
he
of
did.
Brandon.
I know, I am as well.
If
I'm
there's
telling
anybody
you,
that's exciting, it's Brandon. I'm proud of him.
It is a Brandon, a 101 type of guy.
I fully agree. He might be performing at the Super Bowl this year, giving a speech.
The point was missed.
So what
as
was the point that I
usual.
missed exactly?
Adam, I'm running out of time. Okay, let me see what else I got here before I wrap up.
We don't have that kind
okay,
of
boom,
time.
boom, boom. Okay, this one I'm going to do,
Okay,
and Tom,
guys.
I'm only coming
I'll
to
be
you
at
with
the
this
Bad
story.
Bunny concert this weekend. You
Let's
guys
do
enjoy
this.
church.
Disney attendance says the 45-year-old single man who's at the clubs every weekend doesn't own a car, doesn't own a house, and he's bragging about he's going to be at Bad Bunny. What a freaking comment you just made right there.
This guy sounds
All right, let me go to
horrible.
this.
You guys would be at
Disney
church. Wow.
attendance.
That's
Disney
accurate
attendance.
and very telling at the same
Disney
time.
attendance plunges to an all-time low for 2025 as visitors report ghost towns at parks. Okay, let's go through this. This is Disney, by the way, we're talking about. All right, let's go to this here. So Disney World. Okay, let me go to see here. Disney attendance. Walt Disney World logged its lowest 3-week stretch of the year in September, putting it on track to be the quietest month since 2021. Crowd tracker data for mid-August through mid-September shows average waits dropped to about 24 minutes per ride, even shorter than during the 4th of July holiday, according to posted times from Disney, my Disney Experience app aggregated by third-party tracker, thrill data, and analyzed by Disney Tourist Blog. On TikTok, some visitors describe the parks as ghost towns. I'm at Magic Kingdom right now, and this place is a tomb. One user said, there's literally nobody here. There's no wait time for anything. Space Mountain, walk on. Haunted Mansion, walk on. Pirates of the Caribbean, walk on. The longest I've been able to wait is 30 minutes. Tom, what do you know about what's going on here?
So there's a couple things. My wife, our family, used to have season passes in Los Angeles. We loved to go to Disneyland. The girls would go down there. I mean, we had season passes because if you go twice a year, it's worth it for the season pass versus paying for everything all at once. And in Southern California, you got California Adventure and its rides right across from Disneyland. Park in the same parking lot. You know, go down there for a whole day. And so I know what I'm talking about here. What is happening is several angles. First, they need to understand what they have done with pricing. The pricing and the parking has had a definite impact on people. So the first point is affordability is real. The second is long-term, not boycott, but preferences changed. Disney can't continue to kick its core customer in the face with the kind of content it puts out, with the kind of things that come out. Both my daughters thought that actress, weird, remember?
Rachel Zegler, weird.
Attacking the traditional story for Snow White, right? She was in. There has been long-term impact that they have had on the viewership and the preference of the customer. It's not just, hey, boycott Bud Light this weekend because you're pissed off about Dylan Mulvaney in that can, right? No, this is a long-term preference change that people are making and the expense of it. And also, middle-class America right now has had a long-term impact of inflation. It's tough to swing a holiday like that. And if you look at all of that coming together, it's over time, Disney has strangled itself. And now words talk, no, everything's okay, but the numbers are screaming. Look at this. I mean, and it's a combination of those things, Pat, and I speak from absolute experience, speaking both as a consumer and my wife.
Tom, have they made the adjustment of lowering prices?
I was just going to ask that too. Are they adjusting
Have they made the adjustment, Rob, of lowering prices?
In the state of Florida, they do offer Florida passes for Florida residents at a discounted price, but nothing for people out of state that I'm aware of.
Okay, so what is the worst season? What is the worst season for Disney World every year? Like, what month is the worst month for Disney?
Well, usually
I would assume going back to school September.
But usually back to school, but also my understanding is that when Florida gets blistering hot in August, it's really hard to do a whole day at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I've been up there in August. It's not Disneyland, but it's pretty unbearable.
Aggressive, yeah.
Okay, so I just asked here, what is the worst? It says mid-January to mid-February, after the holiday rush, crowds drop sharply. Okay, I see that. Late August through mid-September, school is back in session. Hurricane season starts. Heat humidity is brutal. So
just now.
Which is now, right? Exactly. Yeah. So what in the last 10 years, what is the worst month Disney World has had outside of COVID season? Okay, let's see what it says.
And as we look at this, Pat, you and I like to look at sales stats, like year over year. So even if it's a tough time of year over year, they're having challenges.
Yeah, is there? By the way, can you? I don't know how to run this poll. I guess what I'd want to know is people who used to go who no longer.
I remember.
And I'm all about going to Universal. I love the Universal in LA when we go to it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, as weird as it sounds, when we went to Universal LA, there was no transgender stuff.
Right.
When we went to Universal in Florida, there was a bunch of transgender parts.
I was with you, and it wasn't just a random dude. So before everybody jumps in the comments, it was not a random guy doing it.
20 of them.
They had park attendants, and just same way that when there's an attendant around Winnie the Pooh when he walks around, because you're not supposed to touch them, you're not supposed to
of course. You're not supposed to interact physically. Yeah.
You're not supposed to do it. So they have park attendants that are with them. Excuse me, please step back.
Yeah, like a bodyguard.
Yeah, and so Mickey Mouse leans down, takes a picture, puts a little arm around your kid. So there's things he can and can't do. This was a trans demonstration with park attendants. It was part of the experience.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, gang. All right. So it is 11:31. We're going to wrap up. We're going to do this again on Rob. Do we have a Wednesday? We may have a special guest tomorrow, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Working on it, trying to confirm.
Okay. Is that the research that we're doing this afternoon?
Yes, but that won't go out till Thursday.
That won't go out till Thursday. Okay. So we'll stay tuned, folks. Either way, it could be a interesting interview that's coming up this week. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.